Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game FourCast, weekly game podcast, where we all get together and chat about what we've been playing and what all the new news stories are for the week. There's a lot this week, as Sam was just saying. I'm here with Olive Meister Will.
Hello.
Matt Tomatosaurs.
Hello.
And Sammeh.
Hello.
Steve was unfortunately double booked this week, so he's not able to make it, but he'll be back next week. But yeah, there's, like we were just saying, there's tons of stuff. We just had, what was it, like 4 or 5 gaming events over one week?
It's like fake E3 happened this week.
It's the E3, not E3, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all been popping off. We've got a few like little things to talk about, I think, before we get into all that stuff, like stuff we have been playing. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff to cover. I figured the way we would tackle this is I've basically just got a list of the 4 main shows and what was announced, and we can just go through them, and then if anything, because stuff obviously does stand out more than other stuff, we can come and talk about things as we go along. But yeah, I'm gonna jump in very quickly with just something that I played this week, which is odd because I've been on holiday for 7 days. But I got in from holiday literally yesterday afternoon, and I instantly downloaded the Final Fantasy 16 demo, which I think was dropped at one of these game shows, if I remember. I think it was one of them, but they said yeah, demo comes out 9 a.m. this time. It's the first 2-ish hours of the actual game, and everything you do carries over, basically. So if you want to just start the game now, basically.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I was so keen to play it. If it didn't do that, I wouldn't bother, because the game's out in like a week, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally it's a week. So I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll play this. It also comes with another little 2-hour section of it's called like the combat portion, but it's just made for the demo. And I think it doesn't spoil, but it has a bunch of later game abilities in that. That bit I'm not touching because the game is so close. Like, it's no point as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played this. It did last about 2 hours before it stopped. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, because I know that you, Sam, are now looking to play this. Is that right?
The plan was actually to try and get in some time today.
Yeah.
Because I knew, for everyone to know, I literally today, as of the 15th, I'm now a proud owner of a PS5.
He's done it.
Congratulations, Sam. Congratulations.
You're saying that like you're announcing you're a father or something.
Like he had a child.
It's fantastic, honestly. I've worked so hard for this. I'm going to be playing this demo. I'm going to be cracking this out. I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you should be, because, like I said, I've played this from start to finish. I played it with Laura. We kind of treated it like a movie, because, to be honest with you, most of this 2-hour intro, I want to say a good 60-70% of it is full-on movie mode cutscenes.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. It's like world setting up, world building, character introducing, things like that.
Yeah.
But what Laura and I watched when we did this demo was absolutely fantastic. The direction that they're taking this series to is something. Provided the game carries on the way this opening is, it's nothing like Final Fantasy have actually done before.
Well, it's like when I think back to Final Fantasy 13, I always describe that game as an interactive movie.
Yes.
Now, I'm pretty sure all of us could talk shit on the story of that game, but as far as like storytelling goes, it was kind of okay, like the way it went about it.
Yeah. It
was just a little bit too much movie, not enough game. And then 15 literally had a movie to tie in with the game. And now it's like, is this the slam dunk? Have they've been tinkering with things? Is this like, right, we've nailed what we've been trying to do? It's time to,
Yeah, I
put it all together.
It's a weird one though, right? Because they got a completely different team working on this right now. Obviously, I assume like the higher ups, like the macro management team, is probably a lot of the same people. But this is like Yoshi P in Business Division 3.
Yeah.
So like, I could see them again using like the overarching, because again, I think a lot of what hurt 15 was having all of these different sources and not being able to just sit down, play the game, and get everything right there and then, right? Because it was really weird to be playing Final Fantasy 15, and then at one bit they're like, "Yeah, this is where the movie goes anyway," and then they just continue on, and it's like,
Yeah.
It certainly feels like as someone that's played a lot of Final Fantasy 14, which is obviously Yoshi P's big project before working on this. I mean, I think he's still on FF14, I think. You can see it all over this, from the way the world kind of looks, the way the music is, the way some of the dialogue is as well. I think feels a bit FF14, not in any sort of bad way. Just you can kind of feel it. You can feel that it's got its fingers on it. I think that's good. I think having a more clear, I don't know, like head of project to point to is always a good thing. It always gives it like better direction. What I will say is the two things I think that they said is a big influence on this game's story is people kept citing Attack on Titan and Game of Thrones are like two big influences to this. And of the two, what I will say stands out most is this game is unbelievably Game of Thronesy, to a point where it's like, yes, to the
like season 1 Game of Thrones, right?
Like incesty Game of Thrones.
Not incesty.
Like how? Where are we at? What level?
We're at the level of where it's like, it sets up a lot of different houses and lots of because it's like, kind of like ye old medieval. There's lots of that sort of hierarchy of like villagers, peasants.
Yeah.
But you're following the like internal. You're part of the higher up family. Again, I don't want to say too much. But there's things like from Game of Thrones. There's wards, if you remember those from like Game of Thrones, where like houses and factions give each other like their family members to like look after. It's like
so they don't go to war.
Things like that. There's tons of things. There's bits like that. There's also, again, to say that this is a direction FF hasn't gone in before and ties into Game of Thrones. This game is hella violent, like very violent. There are dudes getting stabbed and axed. You see, I think there's one point you see a dude get decapitated. And I'm like, oh, they're not going to like show the head, and they show the head. I'm like, what? it's just like I've never seen that out of these types. Yeah, it's hella dark. Not dark. I've
seen the rating.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Yeah, I haven't seen the rating. I assume it's an 18.
So weird that this has like an adult rating, considering there are things like Danganronpa, which is actually just about like murder and killing, and they censor the blood in that to make it pink so it can get a lower age rating.
Yeah.
But like they're like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, just let it do it. There's that whole mature side of it as well. There's another point where one character meets another character, they haven't seen each other in a while, and one just jumps on the other and starts straddling the other, and they start like kissing against the wall, and they're like talking about like they're gonna bang and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? This is just like, it's like Game of Thronesy shit. It's like, it's not like, oh my god, so unbelievably mature, but it's so different to what Final Fantasy has been in every single game before it.
Is it like mature, or is it like gamer mature? Is it like Gears of War mature?
I would say it's actually mature.
Okay.
The first sort of half an hour-ish that we were playing, we were like, this is so on the nose to Game of Thrones stuff. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. But then at the end of the demo, the point where it stops, we were both like, holy shit,
Attack on Titan.
This is actually incredible. Like, I am so on board for just more of this. Like, it was like midnight, I think we finished up, which is like around bedtime. Mm-hmm. I could have kept going for hours. I just wanted to see more. I just wanted to see where it was going. It's great. I haven't even talked about the gameplay. Gameplay's fucking awesome. It's action Final Fantasy, and it feels great. Because it's the start of the game. You're a little bit light on a few like specific combat stuff. So I assume it gets fleshed out more. It probably gets fleshed out in the demo, the part of the demo that I haven't played, the combat demo. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say now. I cannot wait for you to play this, Sam, because I think you're going to love it.
What?
So can I just ask a question quick?
Yeah, go.
So you said it was action Final Fantasy, right?
Yes.
We've kind of had some like action-y, hybrid-y stuff in the past. So if you were to compare it to like 7 Remake, 15, or what was the other one? The one where you play as the silly isekai bloke.
Oh,
Strangers of Paradise.
Strangers of Paradise.
Like, what would you say it's closest to out of those 3?
Definitely Strangers of Paradise. It feels more like... I remember in FF15 specifically, there was lots of like, you press a button to jump around, and then you sort of attack for a bit, and then you teleport away, attack for a bit, and stuff like that. Whereas this feels a lot more deliberate. It's hard to explain. If you ever have played, I know the comparison was always like Devil May Cry and stuff, but if you have played any of those, you feel right at home with that sort of control sort of scheme. You have attacking on square, you have magic on triangle, which at least at the start of the game is just the spell fire, which almost just feels like Dante's pistols or Bayonetta's pistols. It's like your little combo extender from range, basically.
So we are fully in action RPG in its almost truest form, then.
Yeah. This is... I'm playing... You get to pick at the start of the game if you want to play on story mode or action mode. And story mode is essentially, it gives you a bunch of accessories for your character that makes dodging automatic and combos automatic and healing automatic, things like that. Whereas the action mode I played on, you have dodge on R1, and when you dodge an attack, if you dodge at the correct time, you get basically Bayonetta's witch time, which is, for people that don't know, that's if you dodge at the exact moment, everything kind of slows down a little bit. It's not as
apart from you, or
no, you can keep moving, but it's not as big and deliberate as Witch Time in Bayo, where everything's really slows down.
Right, but it gives you an advantage.
It gives you an advantage for both maneuverability and doing maybe like a few more moves.
Yeah.
You also have...
It's kind of like the dodging in Breath of the Wild then, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom, I assume, is the same mechanic.
Yeah, again, Tears of the Kingdom is a lot more deliberate in that stuff really slows down. Whereas it's not massive in this, but it's a clear advantage. You want to do very precise dodging. But yeah, you have different moves you can map to... You hold right trigger and press face buttons, and you can do different moves. Again, I won't say anything because it's slightly spoilery, but you got stronger moves. And the main premise of combat, from what I can gather from this early on bit, is certain moves stagger enemies, and when they get staggered, they take a little bit extra damage, and that's your rough loop. So smaller enemies will just die, right? You fight a goblin, you just kill it. There's no stagger mechanic. There's no need for it. You fight a boss or something a bit stronger, and you're looking to stagger it, so you can then pull out your bigger cooldowns to do a bit more damage than you would.
Yeah, I've
before.
seen the I have watched. Well, obviously, when the event was happening, they were fighting like bosses, and they were like 15 levels down. And I watched Maximilian Dude have a go and some other guys, and it was like, yeah, you build up, and then you have this window where you're just like, you get to go all out and be that guy.
Yeah. They also do. At least in, I assume it's for only for bosses really, but the boss that you fight in the 2 hours that you get, it weaves in like cinematic elements as well, which look really cool. And there's quick time events, which you either like or dislike. I mean, it's quite an old mechanic at this point, but if you succeed those events, you sometimes do like a chunk of stagger or just straight up stagger the monster. Which is always good, and it looks cool as well. It adds a bit of flair to the fight you're doing, which is always fun. Yeah, this is gonna be, if the rest of the game holds up anything like this intro, this is gonna be an absolute banger. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
I've taken a week off for this, so
it's looking to be insane. just that's it really. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much I can talk about. It's just like it's the first 2 hours of the game. But
I'm really excited for this game. It's just a shame that I don't have a PS5 and I don't really want to buy a PS5 just for this.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Matt. This is the closest I think I've come to just going ahead and pulling the trigger on a PS5, but I'm not quite.
not quite
it's
there.
just like I resisted on God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And it's like there's also Spider-Man as well,
Yeah,
and then there's Spider-Man 2 and this, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's.
I was like, bugger it.
At what point do
it.
you pull the trigger? The cool thing about it is the point that you do pull the trigger. If you leave it long enough, you then, like you just described, you've got all that cool stuff to also go back to and play.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you get FF16, Spider-Man stuff. But I'm actually like, if you do get around to it in the future, Sam, I'm looking forward to hearing what you say about God of War Ragnarok, because that game was also absolutely fantastic.
That's got to be coming to PC any day now, right? Any day now.
Any day now.
Coming to Epic Game Store any day now.
But here's the
Any
other thing
day
as
now.
well, is because my PS4 packed up a while ago, right?
Yeah.
I can now play FF7 Remake that I've had sealed,
Oh shit.
and
Wait,
can play.
Does PS5 do backwards compatibility?
There's a PS5 version of that game.
Nice.
well,
Yeah, but I assume Sam has a PS4 version.
I have PS4 version.
But I think I
And
don't know
also-
if they're still doing it. They did at one point, I think, upgrade for either free or for a really cheap price. I can't remember.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, that's definitely worth looking at.
But I've also got Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh yeah, shit, Horizon. Yeah.
So I've got 2 games to play. I've got that, and I have actually pre-ordered the Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yeah, I saw some stuff of that
So-
because that got shown as well, didn't it? So that's
Oh,
the-
Really?
Yeah.
You in on Mirage?
Yeah, I do like Assassin's Creed.
Well, Mirage is the most Assassin's Creed looking Assassin's Creed in a long time.
Yeah.
So
It's true. That's true.
Fingers crossed, right?
yeah.
Actually ends up being that.
Yeah. There's still time, though. There's still time, Ubisoft. Yeah.
I'll push it on from this then. Speaking of demos, you were saying, Matt, you've also been playing a demo.
Yes, I literally just finished it as we started this. So, yeah, I've been playing the Lies of P demo, which is the Pinocchio Souls-like.
The not Dark Souls.
That out as well? Oh my god.
Demo. The game's not
game doesn't
actually
come out
out.
till like September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good. So if I was to describe it, you look at it and it's like, oh, this is Bloodborne, right?
Yeah.
It's clearly, I don't want to say Bloodborne inspired, but like aesthetically, it's very similar to Bloodborne. But it doesn't play like Bloodborne. It plays like Dark Souls 1.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Everything's a little bit clunky. The roll goes like very far. Like I think of Bloodborne. I think very fast paced. Everything's very quick. Everything's
Yeah.
very snappy. This doesn't feel like that, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. When you do so, just like in Bloodborne, if you dodge while you're locked on something, you do a little sidestep instead of a roll. But that is kind of, I think, where the similarities almost end with
Yeah.
Bloodborne. It just becomes Dark Souls 1. And again, I really like Dark Souls 1, so I got on with this decently. But
I played Dark
it's-
Souls 1, I think, like a year ago. I tried to play Dark Souls 1 again, and I didn't finish it. I couldn't push through it a second time. I loved it the first time, but I think there are so many little quality of life increases that you get over every single game that comes out, all the way up to where we are now with Elden Ring, that you don't realize until you go back and play something.
Yeah, I had the same thing when I tried to show Erin Dark Souls 1. I was like, look, I love this. It's amazing. And then she was like, why does it feel so clunky? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I forgot about that.
And
It's
the
like,
roll in Dark Souls 1 takes you so far as well. You forget.
Yeah.
You go back and play it and you're like, why am I rolling half the screen?
And it's
Me
like,
and Matt have
what's
often
the-
talked about
It's like-
because I really like Fallout 3 and he really likes Fallout New Vegas. But
Yeah.
after playing Fallout 4, we can't play those games as easily anymore.
Yeah.
Because although we don't like Fallout 4 as much, there's just so many
Yeah.
quality of life things that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
One of those weird things though. I've finished. Well, I guess say the same thing about Fallout New Vegas, which I've finished like 7, 8 times. But I've also finished Dark Souls 12 times. Dark Souls 1. Like, I really liked that game. So I could go back and like just blitz it out because I know I can finish that game in like 2 hours. Right, that's no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lies of P by comparison, it's so unapologetically a Souls clone, right? It's not even just Souls like, right? The menus feel like it's you playing a Souls game. The lock on feels like you're playing a Souls game. The way you upgrade items, you literally turn your like I don't know, heavy sword into a heavy sword +1 by using materials on it, right? There are butterflies that you can randomly find, and if you don't kill them fast enough, they despawn. But if you kill them, you get crafting resources. So they literally have Titanite lizards.
Yeah.
Like it's so 1-to-1 Dark Souls, right? It's not even like they're trying to put their own spin on it. I'd say the things. Sorry, here you go.
I was just gonna say, so if it's that, I don't know, like shameless, what does it do differently, if anything, besides aesthetics of like this weird Bioshock Infinite cross Bloodborne looking thing?
So I'd say the most interesting. I don't know. It's the most interesting part, but the one thing I did notice that was very different is if you block, everything will hurt you through your block, but it will do reduced damage. And then it will trigger the Bloodborne mechanic of if you attack them, you'll heal back the damage that you took when you blocked.
Right, okay.
But only if you block. Whereas in Bloodborne, you take any damage. If you attack back fast enough, you just get it back.
Yeah.
So you've got a... Because I kept finding as well that I'd be like, all right, I'll block this guy's attack, then I'll attack him back. But if I attack him once, I won't get enough HP to heal fully the damage he dealt to me, so I'll attack him twice. And that's all fine and good. But then, it's like, if I want to block him again, he's only got enough HP left for me to get one attack on him, so I never get all of my HP back.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Ooh, that feels kind of awkward that you're doing those like mental maths instead of just engaging with the combat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird in that regard. It also has the Sekiro arm. I mean, it's quite obvious he's got like a prosthetic arm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he is just a puppet. But the idea is, again, you get all these different upgrades for this arm, and they all do different things. Again, exactly like Sekiro. So during the demo, he starts off with one which is just a punch, and then you get one which is like a grappling hook attached to his arm, and you can shoot it to people and drag them towards you.
That's kind of cool.
Which I think is that literally one in Sekiro?
Probably.
I can't remember.
It feels like just chucking every FromSoft game into like a mixing pot.
In a blender, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Is it
is.
mobility Sekiro-esque? Like, are you zipping around the levels and grappling to roofs and stuff?
No, don't be silly. It's Dark Souls 1.
Right, okay.
Oh, yeah. We're struggling to jump, Will.
Sorry.
I've recently been playing through Elden Ring again with my friend Chris in like a co-op run. And the Elden Ring muscle memory was really tripping me up when I was first playing this demo, because I kept trying to press triangle or Y to interact with things, and I kept just spending all my meter throwing out special attacks.
I hate that in games.
And then I kept trying to like do a jump attack, and I'm like, I don't have a jump button. And then at one point I was trying to crouch because there was an enemy ahead of me. I was like, I'll sneak up and I'll get a backstab. And I was like, nope, there's no crouch. So I literally resorted to the old Dark Souls way of just, slightly holding up on the...
slowly waddling towards him. Yeah.
Walking up behind him, get the old backstab. It was really funny as well. There was a mini boss, I guess, like towards the end of the the demo. And it was some guy with like a donkey mask on. It was really weird. But because it was just a humanoid, I could just sprint around him and just backstab him over and over and over again. And I was like, I'm back to Dark Souls 1. And it has Dark Souls 1 backstabs where it is very forgiving. You just like kind of get near his back, press it, and you got a backstab.
Oh, are you immune when you backstab as well?
I think so. I can't think of a time when I backstabbed anything when I was in combat with something else. So
do you feel like the expectations for this are getting a bit out of control to the point where now you're playing a demo and you're like, it feels like a janky Souls game? It's like, yeah, because it's not actually made by From Software. It's made by someone else. That's just trying to do what they can. I feel like
it does feel like it was made by FromSoft from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not necessarily. I think what I would say is if you really, really like Dark Souls and you just want more Dark Souls and you don't really want any like super new innovations or anything, you just kind of want just more of the same game, Lies of P is perfect for you.
Oh, because that's how we got like, what was it, like the original Lord of the Fallen and the Surge and weird games like that, where it's like, this doesn't feel like Dark Souls. It's like, yeah, it's not. It's some weird Eurojank.
but I feel like I don't know if this is the same way, but I feel like when someone comes out and goes like, "Hey, we're making indie Souls-like," I feel like I could be completely wrong, but most people come to something like this and they're like, it's gonna be, it's gonna be imaginative. It's not gonna be as good or as polished as Dark Souls. Like, obviously, it's not.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know. I don't know if Matt, do you feel the same way? If
it's a weird one, right? Because the game looks very pretty, and I also can't see the main character of this and not think of the bloke from Dune.
Yes. Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So, but the game is very pretty. Everything looks very nice. The animations are very nice.
Yeah.
The bosses feel very nice as well. Like they do things very deliberately. Their attacks are very telegraphed. Like the very first boss, because in this you fight like the mini boss. There's like the first boss and then like the final boss. Right, the final boss is actually really hard. The first boss I got down on my second attempt. The first time I went in and I was like, oh, he's doing some attacks. Not really sure what's going on. I haven't really got all my heals at the moment. Bam, bam, bam. Kind of got my ass kicked in. Then the second time I went in, and so basically they have a system where, again, I'd already talked about the blocks, but if you block at the right perfect time, you get a perfect block. And if you do a perfect block, you don't lose any health. And what I learned is I could just perfect block everything that first boss did and never lose any health. So that's how I beat him. I never took a hit.
Yeah.
But then when it came to like the very last boss of the demo, it was a lot harder. There was a lot of AoE flying around. There was a lot of status effects happening, and I could see it being like, oh, this is actually a interesting kind of different fight. I just like, obviously, I've got so much experience playing all these other Souls games multiple times all the way through that, like, I'm ready for this sort of thing. Whereas I think if someone hadn't, these would really give them some pause for thought.
Well, I've just wait and see. I think I don't think I'm going crazy. This is a Game Pass Day 1 game, right? I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that the whole reception it's getting, combined with that, I think there'll be a lot of hands on this on launch. I am kind of concerned that the discourse around this game could turn kind of sour if the game's not perfect, which obviously it's not going to be because it's not made by From Software themselves.
It's the level design as well it's not bad. It's not Dark Souls, right? But I'd say it's like close-ish. Like, let's say Dark Souls is 100%. This is like 80%, right? Like, the levels are interesting enough. You do end up kind of doubling back on yourself and opening shortcuts, and you end up back where you were. There is a decent amount of verticality, but I feel like they don't necessarily fully understand what made the verticality in Dark Souls really cool. Because I just found a lot of the time in this that it was like, oh, you're on the rooftop now, and then there's like 4 ladders that will take you back down to the ground level. And I'm like, so you've just separated it with ladders. That's not super interesting, right?
Yeah.
There was only one time I think where it was like, oh, you can now drop down this hole onto like a steel beam and then come out there, and then you can backstab an enemy, and then you find out that you could have just walked around the side anyway and gotten to the exact same place. So it wasn't actually that interesting of a discovery.
Well, fingers crossed they add more better backtracking and discoverability in the full game.
Well, the other weird thing was they had the first trailer they put out for this game, I don't know how many years ago, looked really fun, really cool.
Yeah.
And that made me bought onto this game. And then they showed another trailer for this during Summer Games Fest, and it was really boring. It was like a story trailer with no combat in it at all. And I was like, I am now less excited for this game than I was before I'd seen this trailer.
I think that's the one that's on screen now, the release date trailer. The one they just
very well
dropped.
could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has this like blue-haired woman, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's from like an anime game.
Yeah.
She doesn't belong in here whatsoever.
I remember you were very disappointed with this trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have anything interesting in it. It was just people talking and this king guy looks cool, right? But the rest of this, I'm like, yeah, it's just kind of guys walking around and people talking.
Just more world building, I guess, to show people what this world kind of looks like.
This is what you want, right? This fighting bullshit.
Yeah.
This is what you need.
Was it I guess. Well, I guess if we're going, is the story set up kind of the same as Dark Souls, where you just kind of wake up and unless you're looking around and hunting for items, you just kind of go?
Yeah, the game has this cold open of you're in a chair and a butterfly flies into your chest and you can hear this voice and it's like, I need you to awaken and come help Mr. Puppet. And then you get up and you're being led by this voice like a lot of the time. But you're not really given all that much. Like you're still kind of given the bare bones, right? But
yeah.
I think there is a little bit more direction than in Dark Souls. Also, this game is very linear. In the sense, I guess, that Dark Souls 3 was kind of linear, where there's only really one way you can go all the way through this demo.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, in Dark Souls 1, for example, as soon as you get to Firelink, it's kind of open. Now, there's one, like, good way to go and a bunch of other very not good ways to go, but you still have the choice to go wherever you want, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in this, you have to go just forward. I think Dark Souls 3, again, is also very linear, except for like 1 or 2 points where there's like these branching pathways and it's like, well, you can go this way or you can go this way.
Yeah. Is it do you have fun?
Yeah,
I never got there. Yeah.
Well, again, it's one of those things. I'm like, I like Dark Souls. This is very Dark Souls like. I enjoyed playing through it. I like the aesthetic. I know what Pinocchio is. It's one of those things. It's very familiar, right? It's very comfortable because I know of Pinocchio. I know how to play a Souls game. So I felt like I could just get very comfortable in it very quickly.
That's like me with platforming Metroidvanias, where I'm just like, yeah, I've done this a million times. It's easy to digest because I'm so familiar with everything that's happening.
Yeah. Whereas maybe if I wasn't, maybe if I didn't know about Pinocchio, then the story would be a bit more confusing. And maybe if I hadn't played a Souls game, it would all be very obtuse. Because that was another thing. I looked through the stats and it had all the stats listed, but there was no like, like in Dark Souls, you can like press select and then like start sifting through the stats and it'll break them down and tell you what they will do.
Yeah.
None of that on this. You just have to kind of assume. It's like attack. All right, I get what that is. And then it's like some of the different stats had really weird names, and they had a little green indicator telling you what they like adjusted of your main stats. But other than that, I had no idea what they were doing. So one of them was like, "Oh yeah, your force goes up," and I'm like, "Yes, but what is my force?"
Someone will make an online wiki.
Just
Someone will sort it for us. Liesofp.wiki or something.
Oh, plus it's just a demo, right? So it's not the end of the world. But it's just one little thing where I'm like, oh, I'd like to have a bit more control and input on how I'm building my character. And I feel like when I'm uninformed, it's very difficult to do so.
Well, that was one of the reveals for all these shows, was the release date of September 19th, which is pretty cool. That's not too far. We always said before this week that it's like, oh, there's nothing coming out end of this year. And now it's just like, yeah, here's all this stuff that's now coming out later half of this year. So, do you have any final things you wanted to wrap up with it? Or are you all good?
I think that's pretty much it. I think if you have a bit of spare time, I think I finished about an hour and a half. It's worth a look.
Yeah.
And I probably would not pay full price for this game when it comes out, but if it's on Game Pass, I will probably play it through to completion.
Nice. All right, let's throw it along to Sam. What have you been doing, Sam?
Hello. So I have pretty much finished Diablo 4 now. I do not think, unless people want help with stuff, I don't think I'm going to pick that game up again.
Even when the first season launches.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'll pick it up when there's new content or new season or whatever. Yeah.
But you're
definitely
done for now.
Because I do think the game's great. But I've in my mind I've finished Diablo 4. I completed the campaign. I got to the hardest difficulty. There were 2 legendaries I needed to finish my build. One of them got disabled because it was broken and making barbarians do billions of damage, and the other one just would not drop. And after 8 hours of specifically grinding it, I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I've done my time trying to get this to just kind of, put a bow on it and be like, I have finished. I had enough."
That's fair.
I got to level 69, 68.
Nice. Oh, almost nice.
Yeah. So I'm at that level where like I've had 2 or 3 of our buds be like, "Hey, can you come and help me in this dungeon which unlocks the next difficulty?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just quickly pop in. Like Barbarian does spinny Barbarian things, sort it out, and then I'm like, cool. I love the game, but I've done everything I wanted to do.
You finished it. It's that simple.
Yeah. So you play a game 50 hours, you put it down. That's how it is. I had a great time. I literally don't even know if I have anything bad to say about that game, apart from maybe I don't like
Blizzard.
how you get to the point where it's like, cool, now I need to fight things 10 levels above me or 15 levels above me for difficulty. So if I fight things my level, it just can't hurt me.
Yeah.
And I kill it in one shot. So like the way you get difficulty is just by like, okay, you're a higher level now and I still kill you, but now you will kill me in one shot. And it's still... I don't know if any game almost ever will get that kind of scaling right.
Yeah.
Difficulty is always hard, right? Because we always complain, difficulty is just number go up, enemy does higher number.
Yeah.
And it's like, it'd be great if that wasn't how difficulty was, which was just higher damage done, higher HP, etc. But that's kind of just how it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's quicker and easier to do, isn't it?
That's my only complaint. But that's a very small complaint, to be honest. Diablo 4 was fantastic. I think almost everyone will get something out of this game.
I'll play it at some point, eventually, when everything else has calmed down.
I think that's the thing.
Pretty much the same.
I spoke to Matt about it, and it's like there's no rush to play this game, and it's quite nice to have a game like that.
Yeah.
Where it's you will, I think, if you played this in a couple of months' time, you will miss seeing people in the open world a little bit, but that didn't really matter anyway. So it's not like an MMO launch where you have to play in the first month to get the best experience, because that's when all the people are there. It's like, if this world was barren of other people, doesn't matter. The game is so good. It's like a single player game that just lets you play with friends, which honestly is more than I think I could ever ask for.
That's one of my favorite parts, is like I've been playing with Aaron and we've just been like hot swapping characters and been like, oh, I feel like playing this other and we'll just switch, and it absolutely accommodates for all of that. It's great.
That's cool.
You just kind of do whatever you want. Yeah.
And like, if you unlock things on one character, a fair amount of things kind of carry over to your other characters.
Yeah.
So you're not always like, right, I am back. Yes, you are level 1, but you still have some bonuses, like a horse that allows you to move around the map faster. Being the main quality of life. But the game's great. You should play it. There's no rush. Take your time. Just enjoy it, because it's an enjoyable experience. But the game that I have been playing is Etrian Odyssey 1, and now 2, because I finished number 1.
Oh, okay. I've got. I assume this is the first one I've got here. Etrian Odyssey HD.
Yeah. So there was a pack. I believe this was on Steve's list of releases.
It was,
1 or 2 podcasts ago.
Yeah, he mentioned how there was a bundle, because it's not like you don't buy a trilogy or something. It was just they released all of them individually on Steam as HD re-releases. I think. It's just as you say, it's just HD re-releases of the DS games. Etrian Odyssey is a very weird game where it's very traditional, old school JRPG turn-based combat. Right.
But when you're not in combat, it's like it's a dungeon crawler with... It's not got procedurally generated dungeons, but you have to map out the dungeons as you go. So you never get given like, oh, here's a map.
Yeah.
But you do get given a blank map that you fill in. And then you're like, cool, there was a treasure chest here, there's a shortcut here, powerful overworld mobs spawn here, this is how I go up, this is how I go down, door here, etc. And you can also make like automatic lines, so if you step on them, your character automatically walks on the path that you've made. So you can be like, cool, I want to get from the start to the end, and I don't want to have to hold forward, press right, hold forward, press left. You just press a button, and it just goes, right, let's walk to the end. Because you fully explored the map, you know what everywhere is.
And you create that line yourself?
etc. Yes.
Is that like holdover from the DS version, where you used to draw it on with a stylus, do you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Because it was cool, and then it's also shown there. It's also got a couple of little aesthetics carryovers. So, like the first game, you can be Joker from P5 or Ringo, which I think that's the Devil.
I know all the characters here except for Ringo.
Devil Summoner Hacker.
Yeah.
God, that's too deep for me in Atlas.
It was the newest one.
That was the 3DS one, wasn't it?
You got Joker and Ringo. Joker being from Persona
Steam,
5.
But can't remember.
Was it on Steam?
That was. It's a recent release. If it was handheld, it'd have been Switch.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that one had come out since then.
Yeah, it's within the past year.
Demi Fiend and Teddy from
Nocturne and Persona 4.
Yeah, and then Nahabino and Aegis from Persona 3 and SMT5.
SMT5. And the other thing is you don't play as like you have a party of 5, or you can only control 5 party members at a time. You are essentially the guild that sends your people out to go and do stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then, like you play through them.
Yeah.
But you can recruit up to like 30 people, but you can only ever have 5 like on the field at once.
Yeah.
And there's like 10 classes in each game to play, so like you get this whole like, well, this is my party set up, and all for this boss maybe I need some more healing or physical damage, and you can swap things up.
It's very classic Dragon Quest in that regard, I think.
I was gonna ask. Yes. Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, is this game hard? Because it looks like one of those games that'd be really fucking hard.
This game is traditionally, it's hard to describe the difficulty because it's not as simple as like, the mobs just hit hard. It's like the mobs die very quickly, and once you fought and killed a monster, you now have perfect knowledge whenever you come up or against. You can just press a button and be like, these are its resistances, these are its weaknesses, these are the items.
That's fine, but in learning that knowledge, and I guess ultimately failing the first fight, do I get sent back an hour's progress to my last save point?
Oh yeah, if you die in this game, it is game over.
Oh fuck, I cannot do that anymore. I get so upset. I tried to play Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the Switch when that came out, which was like a year ago or something. And I was like, you know what? I've played a lot of Persona games at this point, and like SMT games. I know how they work. I'm going to actually try this one on a harder difficulty, because I never do.
Yeah.
And the first fight, maybe it wasn't the first fight, like the third fight I think I got into, I got dunked turn 1 without doing anything, and I got sent back, I think, like 25 minutes progress. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I don't know how Sam does it. I'm not doing it.
It has 3 difficulties, and it's like, story mode, where I just want to have the story, basic mode, which is the intended experience, and hard mode, which is every fight can kill you if you play it wrong.
Yeah, what you're playing on, I guess.
No, I'm playing on the middle one. I've given up on playing on hardest difficulties.
Well, Atlas RPGs are just like the hardest RPGs you're going to find outside of like super niche ones, right? Like just comparing them to like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or Tales of or anything. Atlas games, like anything SMT related, is just so much more difficult.
Yeah.
Let alone playing it on the harder mode.
Yeah.
Well, it's like comparing it to FF16 demo, where they do everything in their power to make sure that every single person can play. And there's like easier modes if you want to, and there's like none of these problems. Whereas even like the normal difficulties of certain Atlas games are still like FU levels of hard.
Well, here's the other thing, right? So every time you level up, you get 1 skill point to spend on your skill tree to develop your character, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you put points in the wrong places, you can rest, in quotation marks, a character, which resets their skill points.
Yeah.
And also sets them back 5 levels. So if you mess up, you play this game of like, not mess up, but really don't like where a character's gone. You play this game of like, right, am I going to rest now and then just grind them back up? Or do I like tough it out and see maybe like if I just quickly pivot into some other skills, like it'll be fine.
I think it's funny how the hardcorest of hardcore JRPGs are always wrapped up in these really cutesy art style.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like if you were a kid and you walked into a video game store, not that really happens anymore, but like you pick up, Etrian Odyssey, I like this art style. Let me just, oh god.
It's like the pretense of like all this cutesy art style, and you're like, all the cute art being like, come play our game, look how fun this is. And you get in, as soon as you get your foot in the door, the cute anime girl's like, fuck you. Now that you're here, get fucked.
Yeah. It's like stuff like Darkest Dungeon. It's got nothing on this.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't buy armor at the start of the game, and a mob one-shot one of my characters. And I was like, right, okay, level 1, lost 2 characters out of my 5 to a goblin. So I bought armor and went from like 10 defense to 15, and then the mob then was doing like half my health in one hit, and I was like, okay, like defense clearly matters. Like I was like, 5 points in defense, like that's not gonna mean much. I'll just wait till the next tier is unlocked. Nah,
The funny thing is that's basically exactly how Final Fantasy 1 starts, where they don't give you any equipment and they expect you to go shopping. So like the very first time I played FF1, I was like, oh, why do all my characters suck? Why can't I only punch for 5 damage? And then guess what? Final Fantasy never did that ever again.
Yeah.
It sounds like what Sam's describing is basically Fear and Hunger, which was that indie horror RPG that I played not too long ago, where it's like
for a time to play that.
Oh, you walked into a room funny? You twist your ankle and die. Game over.
I'm so deep into that game, and I've got like 3 save points.
We won't do it here, but I need to talk to you again about that game at some point.
But I mean, I really enjoy this game. As I said, I completed the first one. I'm playing through the second one. It's one of those things where it is hard, and then you almost figure it out.
Yeah. And
then like, it doesn't become easy, but you don't lose characters unless you're on hard fights. You know, you're able to now save resources because you're like, oh, this guy, I don't know, looks like a slime. That means he's probably going to be resistant to physical and do magic damage. This guy's a bull. That means he's probably going to hit someone very hard. Let's put him to sleep or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a blast. But it is difficult. If you have to have patience, and you have to humble yourself on this game. If you don't want a hard experience, you have to play on a lower difficulty.
Yeah, you gotta take it. You have to accept it that you're gonna be putting it on story mode. If you can't do.
It also the one thing it does, and I wish games never did this. It'll be like, oh, you finished a fight. Here's 1,000 experience, but you've got 5 members, so everyone gets 200. And I'm like, no, if I've got 1,000 EXP, give me 1,000 EXP. Stop telling me what I've got and then dividing it by what to give me what I'm actually getting. Stop doing that.
At least most RPGs have moved on from not giving XP to dead members, because that is the actual worst thing.
Oh, that winds me up. No, that winds me up so hard.
Yeah. I've got one party member that's full level behind.
Yeah, I think for the most part, modern RPGs, we have actually moved away from that now because people realise that it's absolutely stupid. Because now all my party members are level 35, except for one who's 34. And although it makes next to no gameplay difference, because most of the party's 35, it's just like you see it and it is infuriating. Just that person sitting there. Yeah, because
you're never going to fix it. What are you going to do? Kill half your party and then level them up.
That's exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, I remember Final Fantasy X would not give XP to benched members and then have mandatory story one-on-one fights for certain
Kimahri.
It's it's the Kimahri fight.
I'm just gonna say this, right? People complain about that fight, but those story fights are scaled to times Kimahri's leveled up. So if you've never fought with Kimahri, the fight is very easy.
I was like 10. I didn't know. I just like cried because I thought my game was like soft locked. Yeah. Anyway,
I think it's just nobody likes Kamari.
no one liked Kamari. No one used Kamari.
Which one was Kamari?
Big Blue Man, Avatar Man.
The
Oh my
Ronzo.
god, I completely forgot he was in that game.
Exactly, because no one uses him.
He has
No
no,
one used him,
personality.
yeah.
He's a blue mage, right?
He's the only
Yeah.
unique character among them.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk, and he's just angry all the time. And why is no one using him? Because he's got the personality of a fucking rock. But yeah, you got any last words on this, Sam, before we chuck it along?
No, I mean it's old school JRPG. Again, I play a lot of these games where I say this. You know if you like this game, right?
Yeah, the people that
You're
like
not
this game.
stumbling upon this game thinking, "Oh, well, I'd not played a game like this, so I'm going to give it a go." That's not the type of people that play these games.
Yeah, the people that play these games have already played this, or they're playing this right now. They don't need to be sold on it because they've already got it.
Yeah.
A lot of RPGs today, haven't we?
There's just tons of RPGs right now. It's just, I guess you could argue.
Plague Tale, Requiem.
Oh no, don't. You'll set Will off again. Will, did you see it, Matt? Will had his morning game show of what is that? Game Duel.
Game Duel, yeah.
And it was he didn't get the game at the end, not because of his fault, because it said Plague Tale Requiem was an RPG, which is
That's
makes
messed up.
Makes no sense.
I was watching.
I'm in talks already. I've sent emails.
Was it yesterday you were doing one, and it was a Star Wars game I'd never heard of that was like Halo?
Oh, Republic Commando?
Yeah, Republic Command. I'd never heard of that game.
I still
I was
got
like,
the
I would
PS
never
one,
get
right?
this.
Yeah. It's really good. It's just, if for those listening, it's a game where you basically, it's like Mastermind. You put in a game and it'll be like, well, it's not the game we want, but it came out before this game came out. It's the same company. It is a shooter, and you'll be like, oh, okay, so it's a shooter. So Halo, oh, it came out after Halo, but it was made by Bungie. Oh, it's Destiny. Oh, we got it. And it's like, that for that whatever reason,
Just
Republic
bugged,
Commando
yeah.
just. And it's funny, every time you look at that screen, every game you've ever played just disappears from your head. All I can remember is Tomb Raider.
It always comes back to Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some announcements. There were, so I think it was mainly over the weekend and on Monday, a whole bunch of game conferences. We'll start with the bigger ones and sort of work our way back. I don't think it was the best one, but I do think the sort of biggest one probably was the Summer Game Fest. You had that and the Xbox One were the two biggest ones. We're just going to go through these game by game. And then, like we said, anything sparks discussion or anything sparks joy or anything like that, we'll have a little look at it. These are all in order of the show as well, which is great. So this is how they displayed during the event. So the first one for Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This was the new 2D Prince of Persia game, which I thought looked really cool, but the trailer had a really, really weird tone. I don't know if you remember the trailer for this.
Remember they said during it something along the lines of like, time magic is back. And I was like, do you just mean Assassin's Creed is back? Or do we have not Assassin's Creed? Do we mean Prince of Persia is back? Or do we mean that Prince of Persia had games without time magic?
I think Prince of Persia towards the end got a bit weird and kind of... What was it? You had Prince of Persia, and then you had the trilogy of like the Two Thrones and something else. I can't remember. And then they did the weird cell-shaded one.
Cell-shaded one-off, whatever one. Yeah.
And then another more traditional one, I think, that no one bought. I don't think people even really remember it. Do you remember this? They made another like Prince of Persia game on PS3 and Xbox 360. What was it called?
Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, 2010.
The Forgotten... No, was it that one?
That came out after Prince of Persia 2008, which was the cell-shaded
Yes,
one.
it came out after the cell-shaded one.
You're also forgetting Prince of Persia: The Fallen King, a DS exclusive.
Oh,
Prince of
Jesus
Persia
Christ,
game.
yeah. That's like talking about like those weird Call of Duty games on DS, though. Like, no one cares about
Prince of Persia: Harem Adventures.
Oh, nice.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
wait
no.
a minute.
Not touching that one. Yeah, this new one, it looks alright. I got nothing like kind of bad to say about it. It looks okay.
Yeah, I think this game looks neat. I don't think this is for me,
No.
but
The
I
internet
like
hated
I
this
like how
one.
it looks.
I think from what I understand, the current, because they're remaking Prince of Persia, the original, right? They're doing Prince of Persia remake, and that game is currently in development hell. I think it recently, it's all Ubisoft, obviously, so can't change like studio, but the team working on it got dropped, and it's been passed over to like other Ubisoft people, and it's just like, I think they probably just tried to faithfully remake the first game, and then they were just like, this isn't good enough anymore. Maybe, I don't know.
Turns out none of us actually liked the first Prince of Persia.
It's like, hang on a minute, no one's asking for this game. Why are we remaking this?
It's weird as well. This game's like a side-on.
Yeah, 2D side-scroller.
Well, that's what they were originally, right?
Yeah, but they haven't. I think after 3, they weren't anymore, right?
Yeah, but
wasn't 3 like the really, really popular one?
Yeah, but like Metroidvania, side-scrolling Metroidvania is still pretty.
Like
poppin',
Metroid lives in 2 dimensions. I think.
Like Dread just came out. People like that. Ori's pretty good.
You can't do a lot of the cool shit that you could do in like the 3D Prince of Persia's in 2D. Is there anything?
Well, true. I think this is like a little side thing to keep it relevant, you know.
I think if you go down the 3D route as well, you just kind of fall into the trap of like doing what every other game of this genre has done.
We also, it's like we made Assassin's Creed again. You know?
Yeah, but Assassin's Creed, well, you can rewind time.
True.
I'm gonna push this along, but yeah, Prince of Persia game.
Wait. Someone said to me in chat when this came up, they said it looked like a League of Legends character reveal trailer, and I could not. I was like, that's fucking spot on.
It looks like one of Riot Games' new spin-off character games.
Yeah, that's quite high praise, to be honest.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, Prince of Persia. You've then got, let me just close that. Mortal Kombat 1 official debut trailer for the gameplay. This looked, I don't know, I was kind of excited for Mortal Kombat 1, and then I saw the gameplay and I was like, oh yeah, it's Mortal Kombat.
Doesn't it look? It looks like the whole new coat of paint. The game looks gorgeous, and then they start punching each other, and I'm like, your characters still look weirdly stiff. I don't know what it is.
It's so just strange looking. Like it's almost like juxtaposition where you just see like 2 dudes like wearing like really nice like shirts and trousers, and they just start punching each other in the middle of a living room, and I'm like, is this Mortal Kombat? It just looks like 2 rich guys having a fist fight.
Well, people have said that like. Now, MK1, that the gameplay they showed, they're doing cameo fighters, which is basically just their way of saying tag attacks. Like Dragon Ball Z's got it, you press a button, Goku jumps in, punches, and then jumps out. But in this one, because they try and keep it so grounded and somewhat realistic, like Jax will walk on screen, and he'll punch, and then he'll awkwardly walk off, or he'll do a weird dad jog off the left-hand side of the screen because you can't TP away or anything like that. And people point that out, and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, yeah, he's so right. That looks so stupid. But yeah, Mortal Kombat, it's just more Mortal Kombat at this point, I think.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, one best part of that trailer is when Liu Kang, not Liu Kang, I can't remember the name. The guy with the hat just takes off a regular hat and throws it at someone.
Oh yeah, Kung Lao.
Like Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Kung Lao, just throws it at him, it just bounces off him. He's like, what?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Path of Exile 2, a little bit of gameplay. That's just gameplay, right? It looks so similar to the first game for me that I don't really have much to say about this.
I can barely tell the difference between this and Diablo 4, I'm not gonna lie. They both look great, they both look very similar. I look at this and I'm like, yep, if Diablo 4 hadn't just come out, I think people would be really, really, really hyped for this.
I think that's the issue.
Really poor timing, unfortunately. Exoprimal Cross Street Fighter 6. I thought this was a cool battle pass that was coming out the same day. It might still be, but I think it looked like they showed a lot more of the Exoprimal side of it than the Street Fighter side of it. I don't know. It was a weird sort of trailer.
I thought this was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, if I can play as weird mech Ryu in Street Fighter 6, that'll be cool.
Or Mech Ryu in Exoprimal.
I imagine you will be, but no one cares about Exoprimal.
I'm 100% if they want to make Exoprimal like their Smash Bros. I can't think of anything more Capcom than just all the Capcom franchises meeting up to shoot dinosaurs.
Well, that's so perfect. That's kind of how Monster Hunter became Monster Hunter World, I think it was, where they started putting in Ryu and Mega Man,
Dante,
shit.
Mega Man, yeah.
So they're not averse to just breaking their game's story and law and be
100%.
Here's Ryu, which makes it more fun. Already knew this. Nicolas Cage comes on stage, talks about himself being in Dead by Daylight. That's always cool. New trailer for Witcher Season 3. I've completely fallen off that wagon now that I know that he's leaving as Geralt. I just don't.
Is he going to leave in universe, or is it? Is it? You know, are they writing that in?
I hope they're
just going to change actor.
I hope they play it as straight as they do. You know, I think it's in the beginning of Austin Powers 3, where it's like a fake Austin Powers movie, and it's Tom Cruise looking at the camera going, "Yeah, baby." Yeah. I hope they do that with. I hope they do that with Geralt.
It's gonna be really weird. However they do it, like, what are they gonna say? Like, he got hit with magic and now his face has changed.
Oh yeah, he gets hit with a fireball.
Yeah,
literally, like, don't start a new season with a new actor. It's like mid-scene. It's one actor hit by a fireball in the face, turns around, new actor.
Or just he walks out of frame and then back on, and someone does a double take because it's a new actor, but that's like the only reference they make to it.
Yeah, one character double takes, and then he looks at that actor and does like the shushing motion, and then they never mention it ever again. Witchfire. I don't even remember this game.
This is cool.
This
like
is cool. Yeah,
it kind of reminded me of like first-person Remnant almost.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, because I remember this is the game that looks like Painkiller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like, if this was multiplayer and I could like play with the boys, this is something I would love to play.
Yeah.
But single player experience, I'm not so sure.
I mean, I could get behind this. There's just like a really high fidelity boomer shooter. Why not?
Does this count as boomer shooter if it's like got a budget and it's big?
Boomer shooter is
adjacent.
Boomer shooter is a vibe, not an aesthetic. I feel.
That's a
Vibe check.
Bro, you put out a t-shirt.
Yeah, Witchfire. That looks. Now that I remember what it is, I could mess with that. What was this? Crossfire Sierra Squad. I don't really remember that. I think it's just like another.
It's just Crossfire.
Just cross. Oh, it's a VR thing. That's why. Remnant 2. New trailer for Remnant 2.
Hell yeah.
Still looking good.
Oh, that's soon as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is what I said. It's all happening.
I'm going through at the moment, and just like every time someone reminds me a game is coming out this year, I forget another game, and then like a month later, I'll go through it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all this Armored Core. I don't know if that was on here, but all the Armored Core stuff just came out. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like 2 months away.
Yeah, really close, really close.
Oh mate, they just dropped those like 4 minutes of Armored Core. It looks so good.
It does look really good. Yeah. Sonic Superstars. A new 2D Sonic game with like a 3D art style. Got weird Sonic 4 vibes from this, if you remember that, on mobile. That game was ass. Hopefully this will be better. I've heard that, I can't remember what it was specifically, but there was some part of the dev team ties this to Balan's Wonderworld. So
it was a great game.
Yeah, that fantastic game. So
loads of people played it because it was funny.
Well, that guy's going to jail now, so
I hope this does well, because I've always liked Sonic. Right, I grew up with Sonic.
Yeah,
it's always been a big part of my life. So
it'll do well.
You keep going, Sonic.
It'll do well. I just don't think it'll be a great game. I think I don't understand how 2D Sonic has not been given entirely to the Sonic Mania team at this point.
Yeah.
Like Sega just be like, okay, we seem to not be able to do it. You guys can. We're gonna give you money. Just keep making 2D Sonic games. Fuck it.
It's like, oh, you made the only generally well-received Sonic game of the last 20 years. It's like, no more.
Yeah, it wasn't even generally well received. I think Sonic Mania, people fucking love that game. As
I bought that game because it was getting such a good buzz, and I am not a Sonic man at all.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Honkai Star Rail on PlayStation. Like, nothing to say about that. I'm still playing this daily.
Same.
I'm not sure if that's a testament to how good the game is or how good the manipulation to get me playing every day is.
I'm very easily manipulated.
but still having fun with that. Yeah, this is the PlayStation release, Q4 on PS5. Liza P. Already talked a little bit about that, but yeah, that got a new trailer and the release date that we talked about, September 19th. Sandland. This is a game created with the help of Akira Toriyama, who's the Dragon Ball guy, done by Bandai Namco.
This one really caught me off guard.
I straight up, it's weird because I'm conditioned now to when I see this art style in a game, I just go to Dragon Quest. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
Dragon Quest game. But but it's not. It's like, I don't know. I can't remember what this really is. It's like a weird open world-ish adventure game. Again, it's Akira Toriyama's like style, right? It's just he's got that look nailed basically at this point. But yeah, it's like an adventure game in a sandland. It's kind of tank battles, but also like combat as well, like hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, it's a new reveal, so there's not much.
It looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks it's something different. Yeah, it gives me vibes of like when Blue Dragon was a thing.
Yes.
Oh,
and there were like Akira Toriyama games that were just like one-offs in his style.
Yeah, like you'd walk into your local store and there'd be like 30 RPG-looking games that look like this.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh, I bet one of these is good.
Yeah, and you don't get that anymore because games cost so much more to make, so people don't take risks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this could be cool. Yeah, Sandland. So you had that one. You've then got teaser for Annapurna Interactive Showcase. Blah 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 blah. Throne and Liberty. Does anyone remember this one? This is the it's the upcoming NCSoft and Amazon game.
It's the horrific mobile style auto battle game.
It's like
everyone was really excited for this to be like a new massive MMO, and everyone's really excited. And then people got their hands on it and were like, the combat is terrible, and most of the time you will just be auto battling and letting it play itself.
What is it, like a raid, like RPG kind of game?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know much about this. Really.
It's basically it's an MMO, right? But it's a mobile MMO first. The biggest complaint people have had is it's they call it an action MMO, but the problem is anytime you do anything, your character has to stop moving, so you cannot chase someone and attack them at the same time. So anyone who's ever running away will always get away from you.
We just don't have the technology, unfortunately.
No one has solved this. Yeah.
I don't spend too much time on this, but I I thought this was something else. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was another game that got shown. The one with like the weird man and woman.
Game?
The ghost game.
Yeah.
Warhaven. I'm not gonna look at that kind of what that is.
This was the really cool one, right?
Is this the cool one?
Wasn't this the one which looks like what's the first person medieval war game?
Chivalry.
Yeah, this was the Chivalry with magic.
I remember. I somewhat remember this. I remember seeing this and seeing all the health bars and everything, and it looked so like,
oh my god,
like modern day kind of.
It's almost like For Honor as well.
Yeah, no, I saw this and thought this was just like For Honor, but with magic.
Really, it looks more like Dynasty Warriors.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
except everyone's a player. Makes it like,
oh, is that what this is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had that.
Well, if well, I would be one of those like nameless spearmen if this was
really.
If this is like free to play, this is gonna be like I'm gonna be there day one playing it.
It's got free to play written all over it. It looks like a free to play game, which is weird because it's so high fidelity and there's so much shit happening. But at the same time, it still looks like a Chinese free to play game. Or like it's not Chinese, sorry, it's Korean, I think.
This will have a $500 founder pack.
Absolutely, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Almost certainly.
But yeah, Warhaven. You then had trailer for Party Animals. They're always fun little games. Crash Team Rumble launch trailer. Hover on this for a second because this is one of the games that comes out actually next week. This comes out soon. It's the weird Crash Bandicoot multiplayer
is this
game.
Free?
No, it's not. No, it's like £35.
Because if this was free, I would play it. I'm not buying.
It's console only £35, and it will be dead on arrival as far as from what I don't know.
I'm all about more Crash games.
Yeah, but it's not a Crash. It's a 4v4 weird multiplayer game. It's like exactly.
This is a Crash game. If like Skylanders was a Spyro game.
Yeah. It's just I don't know who's asking for this, but you had that. You then had another look at Alan Wake 2. They showed a bit of gameplay and some more story stuff. That looks really cool. It didn't show much, even though it was like the gameplay reveal. Just like vaguely shooting at that Minotaur dude as he breaks through a wall.
Was it? It looked kind of RE4-ish in the trailers.
Kind of. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I see what you mean there. It's like it looks a lot slower than what I remember the first game being like. I remember the first game was, again, we only got this trailer to go off, but the first game you'd be fighting like 5 or 6 shadow dudes as they chase you down.
It's kind of arcadey. Yeah.
I don't think this demonstration was particularly that impressive, but I still have faith that the game will be really good. I think. But yeah, I can get excited for that. Warhammer Space Marine 2. Another look at that. I don't think there's much to say really. That game just still looks really cool.
It's got co-op, right?
Was this the co-op announcement? I thought that might have been somewhere else. But it's also
actually, it might have been somewhere else. It's got a lot of trailers recently.
It has, right? I feel like all of a sudden it's gotten like 50 trailers out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game looks really cool. It's got like a whole co-op element now, which is really cool.
We get a lot of Warhammer games and very few good ones. So whenever one does come along, we got to hype it up.
Really got to celebrate them. Yeah.
You had Yes, Your Grace, Snowfall, which I think, let's have a quick look at this. Don't remember much of this. Oh, this was the weird like HD 2D. Is this the Banner Saga people?
Banner Saga people,
no, it's
right?
not. No, it's not. That was Tower something.
This is from the Kingdom.
Oh, Gods something. Gods will. I don't know if we're butchering this.
Kingdom God Tower.
We have no. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's Yes, Your Grace.
This looks pretty cool. I really like this art style.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. I'm not going to play the trailer. I'm going to see if any of you remember what this is, because I do. But does anyone remember what this is?
What, the film or the game?
The game.
No.
This was the weird, like, Left 4 Dead looking game where they're all in like a truck, and you can drive the truck around. Let me bring up the trailer.
Is this one where it's like we stick to the plan this time, or something like that?
Something. It looked like it. I got serious Back 4 Blood vibes.
Didn't this have like a really popular song playing over it as well?
Probably. I can't remember. But yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, a trailer showing what's that actor? Jason Isaacs. He's what was he? Lucian Malfoy in Harry Potter.
I'm literally going through the Harry Potters right now, and so when he popped up, I was just like, the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, what?
Yeah.
It's very cool. I'm very excited to play this.
Spider-Man 2 got a release date, 20th of October. That's the first time they locked down the date. I think it was rumored to be for September. So unless it was wrong in the first place, or they shifted it back ever so slightly.
It's weird they did the whole Sony thing, and then I guess was Jeff like, please give me Summit, guys, and they're like, all right, I guess we'll give you the release date, because they just did the big reveal like a week ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't even have like much new footage. I don't think. He just got the release date announcement.
Yeah.
Well, I've got Pal World.
Oh man, fucking Pal World, man.
This game still doesn't look real to me. I feel like after I bought, what was that other one?
Craftopia.
I fell for the Craftopia trap. I'm not falling for it again.
Craftopia is a fun little like 6-hour experience where when you finish it, there's no reason to ever go back.
Well, this just looks like more. This looks like more of those types of games where it's like the trailers are so stupid and outrageous. It's just like, yeah, I guess I'll check it out for a tenner or whatever it costs just to see how stupid this is. And then you play it and it just doesn't work, and you're like, oh, okay, I've been scammed again.
Well, that was the thing. Like, Craftopia was like dirt cheap. So even though it was a bit naff, I don't feel like I lost anything.
That's fair. I feel like I lost something. I lost, not sure what, but I lost something that day I played Craftopia.
Bought that game and never played it.
There you go. Yeah, Sam lost some money. We know that.
I remember finding a dungeon in that game, like the 8th or 9th dungeon I'd been in. Stepped in, and there was just like a hoverboard, and I jumped on it, and then I start doing like a racing course, and I was like, this is the best game of all time.
I had the same thing, but my reaction was, this is the worst game I've ever played. Yeah, Power World looks like a massive meme. That'll be more like YouTube bait, I guarantee it. Land of the Morning Light for Black Desert, nothing to say there. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria.
I thought this looked really cool.
This does look cool, yeah.
Oh, this feels like how everyone has the Warhammer license and just makes random shit. We're starting to get that with Lord of the Rings now.
This is the kind of game I want from Lord of the Rings, right? I don't want just retell the books again. I don't want this is like the biggest players in the universe all doing stuff. I just want what else is happening that's also relevant to what happened during the stories that everyone knows and loves.
I don't know. For me, it looked more like a quality thing, where it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Lord of the Rings.
You just don't like dwarves. That's what it is.
I just don't like dwarves. I know. I just feel like the quality just isn't there for something I expect for Lord of the Rings. I don't know.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, did you watch The Hobbit?
Fantastic.
That's true. Yeah. Everything stems back from the first Hobbit movie.
That's where it all went wrong.
That's where it all went wrong. Should have just left it. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. This is the mobile FF7, which we did know was coming.
Yeah.
It's just, I think this is the more faithful remake of FF7, which is odd because it's like a mobile game.
This is neat, I think is the best way to describe it. It's like, you like FF7, you want to play it again. You got kind of the chibi kind of aesthetic where you're walking around, and when you go into battles, it turns into the old FF7 remake style. It's going to have like loads of microtransactions, and like as you can see, all the characters have got all this different armor and stuff on, and it'll be a fun little mobile game. Hopefully, it won't be monetized too horrendously for people that just want to play it casually.
Yeah, you need to be able to play the game from start to finish without.
It's Matt, my favorite character. There he is. Matt and Glenn just hanging out.
This could be cool though. See how it goes when it. I think they announced like closed beta as well. Closed beta test for Android starting around this time. So I'm not sure how you get into it, but you could look that up if you're interested. That's Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. And then after that we got Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden. Is this the one I was thinking of?
This is the Ghost game, yeah.
Where it's like kind of God of War, not God of War. Weird story about you have like a ghost partner. Partner is in literally. I think they're literally together.
Yeah,
I think.
And you're like an exorcist or something, right?
Premise is cool. I do think the premise is cool. It does have a weird like indie vibe over it, despite looking really high fidelity. So we'll see like how it plays. I feel like I look at this the same way as Lies of P, where I'm like, it looks really good, but I'm like, is it just gonna be a bit?
It's gonna be.
jank?
It's gonna look really good, but be like small in scope. It reminds me of Plague Tale.
Yes, that's a good show. Yeah, that sort of. Well, they Plague Tale. They're like they call it like a AA game.
Like a AA game. Yeah.
But yeah, that looks interesting. I'm actually quite interested in that.
Unlike Skull and Bones, they're going the other way.
Yeah. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. This is the in-between game of Yakuza 6 and 7, explaining what Kiryu was up to, I think.
So is this another like remake?
No, it's an original game, and it's a brawler compared to the RPG route the main games have now gone down.
Right. Okay.
This is, I think we'll talk about it when it comes up, but that like now that you Like a Dragon 8 or Yakuza 8 has been announced, which I assume will be the route they've gone with RPG. This is where you can go if you still like the brawler kind of stuff. So it's good that we got that. Under the Waves, this was a like sci-fi horror game in the water. This looked pretty cool actually. This looked really good. Have a real quick look.
It's a big Subnautica vibes.
Yeah, like was it Thalassophobia?
Oh, this. Yeah. This does look cool.
Yeah. That looked really good actually. What was next? Call of Duty Season 4. Don't care. Ironically, the skins they show in the game of this trailer of Tim the Tatman and Nick something, I think his name, now been removed.
Yes, I saw some of this. Yeah.
Not getting into that here, but that's kind of funny how this trailer is instantly out of date. Fae Farm World, I'm gonna skip. Marvel Snap, I'm gonna skip. King Arthur Legends Rise, fucking bath. Wayfinder is that weird Fortnite looking. Yeah.
Still, I feel like I've read and seen so much of this, and it's had betas, and I still have no idea what this game is. It looks alright.
It doesn't look
like
great.
It could be fun.
I think it's made by the Warframe guys.
Oh, okay. Stellaris Nexus. I don't remember what that is. I think it was just.
It's just a Stellaris like update.
Space Trash Scavenger. Did I just like skip all these? Star Trek Infinite.
You fell asleep at
I
this
might have
point.
fallen asleep at this point. Oh, a sneak peek of the Twisted Metal TV series. That was fucking
That
weird.
trailer was so good. I loved that trailer.
It's so bizarre.
Well, I'd watch anything with Anthony Mackie in it to begin with.
Yeah.
I just think he's a really funny guy. But this trailer, I genuinely thought was really like my style of comedy.
What else we got? Lisvanga, the Time Shift Warrior. Looked like a cool little action game.
Oh yeah, the Supergiant game. Yeah.
Another push from Immortals of Avium, which seems to be in a few places right now. That's the weird first-person magic game.
Yeah.
That's coming to consoles. Fortnite Season 3, Chapter 4 Season 3. And here's here we go, the big stinger. This was the reveal trailer, not reveal trailer, but gameplay trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is...
This was the most exciting thing they could have shown off.
It took a while to get here. We had to get through. I think, in terms of like his game shows, by his being Jeff Keighley, I think this was one of his weaker years, personally.
Yeah, I think I agree. Because although I really, really like this game, I am like so much more excited for this than 16.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, 16 is getting further and further away from Final Fantasy. It's like it's evolving, right?
Yeah.
It's the new version of Final Fantasy, the new kind of era we're going into is getting less and less J and just more and more, well, I guess less and less RPG, I guess. More and more action. And I really felt like Final Fantasy VII Remake was exactly what I wanted, where it was just enough action with just enough like command input and just enough RPG, where it felt like it was all kind of seamlessly together. Like that didn't feel like it was overly action or overly RPG. It felt like they kind of complemented each other really well.
Yeah.
So like and obviously, massive Final Fantasy VII fan. It was my very first Final Fantasy game. I love this game to bits. I still think it's one of the best stories ever told. Obviously, the original Final Fantasy VII doesn't really hold up anymore. Realistically, graphically, it looks like shit now. But the characters themselves and the story, I still think is one of the best ever told in video games.
I'm still the thing I'm most interested in this is just now that it's like public knowledge for ages that like the FF7 remakes are kind of fucky with the story and they're doing some weird shit. I'm interested to see where they go with this weird middle game because they've already said this is going to be a trilogy of remakes. So some of the stuff they show in this I think is kind of towards the end of the original story, I think, in this trailer. So it's like,
yes,
why are we getting so close to the ending in the middle game? What are you doing, Square Enix? Like, where are we going here?
Are you worried at all, Matt, that they're just gonna get too weird with it?
I think they need to get just weird enough, otherwise, because the way that it is set up at the moment is, if you played the original, the reason to come back and play it, if it was a 1-to-1, would just be, it's reliving what I've already seen, and it now looks very pretty. But because they are doing all these changes, but they're keeping them in universe, so it's not like, we've just made all these changes. No, there's these special things that are going in and changing the timeline. So like in universe, there is a reason for this happening. It's now made it so that the returning players, there's something for them as well, which is like, I actually don't know what's going to happen now. This is actually really exciting. Well, I still think it's going to hit the same story beats. It almost feels like, I don't know if I can really get into spoilers of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That game's kind of old now, but I know Sam hasn't played through it.
I have seen, I haven't shied away from spoilers, so there's not a lot you could say that I would be like, I didn't know that. I already, I know
so
just.
At the end of 7 Remake, they have this whole Zack's alive, but he's not, because he's not really there. And then they show a similar logo to one that exists all throughout Final Fantasy VII Remake, except it's got a different type of dog on it, which is implying that you're seeing an alternate timeline.
Yeah, I'm hoping
there's now 2 parallel paths advancing through the story, and we'll see those kind of intertwine throughout.
I'm hoping that this game concludes what is the original Final Fantasy VII story, and then whatever third game they end up making is the weird conclusion game to all the weird stuff they're doing, and it's we're just completely off the rails at this point.
Well, even at the very start of this trailer, which just came up there, you see all of the main cast fucking died.
Yeah, which obviously has not happened. At least not.
You don't see Cloud there at all. The assumption being because Cloud wasn't with them because Zack's still alive, so he's hanging out with Zack in the other timeline, so they all went and tried to do that on their own without him.
God, how did we get here? How did FF7 get to this point? It's so weird, but it's so cool. I love that they're doing this like weird stuff with it.
Yeah,
because it at least makes it more interesting.
Really, really excited. The one annoying thing is I have played through Final Fantasy VII Remake. Right, I have it on PlayStation 4. I can, if I want to, buy it on PC and play it there. But when the new one comes out, I will have to wait for it to come out because it will be on PS5 only.
Yeah.
Have to wait for it. And if I buy the Steam version and then I want to like get the follow-up to that, I'll have to wait for it to come out on Epic, presumably, and then wait for its grace period there before it comes out on Steam.
I forgot about that because it was only on Epic Games when it came out, wasn't it?
It's such a piss take.
You're gonna be like 50 by the time you finish this game series.
Exactly, it's insane.
It's like all the Kingdom Hearts fuckery on different platforms, but all for one game.
yeah.
Exactly.
We'll move on from that. This looks cool though. This was a cool stinger. I think I quite like seeing a bit more of it. I thought I didn't really care until I saw this trailer, and I was like, yeah, that was a really good game. I look forward to playing more of.
I just thought it was very interesting they released this just before 16's coming out. I would have thought they would have just not said anything about this till 16 was out, and then now we're going into this.
I think we said something a few podcasts ago. We were like, "There's no way we're seeing any FF7 before 16 comes out because they're going to want to push 16 so hard." But no, like here it is. But yeah, that was Jeff Keighley's show. How would you guys rate it? Give me a rating out of 10.
That was 4 Doritos out of a Mountain Dew.
I think some of the stuff in there was really cool. Overall, I would give it probably an 8, but I think that's because FF7 Rebirth is dragging it all the way up.
Yeah.
I think as a show, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But as my own personal hype for the individual games.
Yeah.
I'm like Baldur's Gate 3 is cool, but I already knew it was coming. I already owned it.
There was that one reveal we jumped over, which was like Space Trash Man or something, and I'm like, is really like a headline spot at the Summer Game Fest? I'm not sure about that.
Well, they pay Jeff, right? I'm pretty sure they pay for that spot.
And it's Paradox as well.
I'm 99% sure that's how this works.
You don't reckon Jeff was like going around like, well, all right, what we got?
No, I'm pretty sure at this point, like these shows are just advertising, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, next one, Xbox show. I think there were less stuff here, but I think the stuff was way better, personally. What do we have here?
Is that because they showed a lot of Persona stuff?
They did.
I was watching this with Aaron, and I was like, Sam is eating well tonight, isn't he?
You had no idea.
Right, let's go. First game was Fable. Fable was finally showing its face again. This was a odd trailer, I feel. I can't play Xbox.
I liked it.
I am quietly excited.
Yeah, I can't think of a better person to like reveal a new Fable game than Richard Iowati.
Yes, yeah.
That was brilliant.
They're clearly having fun with it.
Watching this trailer, because I was sat there, I was talking to my friend Alex about this, and we were like, this is Fable, right? And then it was like it was more Jack and the Beanstalk stuff and more Jack and the Beanstalk stuff, and we were like, are we sure this isn't just a Jack and the Beanstalk game? Like this whole trailer is just Jack and the Beanstalk.
I feel like I knew almost instantly it was Fable.
Yeah.
Well, we did as well, but then we started questioning it after just no more Fable stuff happened.
I'm excited to see. Yeah, excited to see how that goes because
it's weird because it's like Lionhead is long gone at this point, and this is Playground Games, which are the Forza guys, and it's like.
Well, it is weird.
I genuinely have no idea what to expect from this game. It looks like they're getting the tone down, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm excited, but obviously wait until they show some gameplay of it at some point.
South of Midnight. This was only like a CG trailer. But I thought this looked really cool. I really liked the vibe of this trailer. It was like a skeleton-looking dude on a guitar.
Yeah. Looked very like Americana.
Yes,
style.
Yeah, and there was a character that's hunting a beast or something. There's not enough to go off here on what the game is, but I really liked the art style that they're going for.
Yeah.
Almost like it's like a weird frame rate, I think. Is it like almost
like spikes? They're doing a Spider-Verse.
Almost stop motion-y kind of like feel to it. It's really cool. It's a really cool trailer. It's called South of Midnight. Just have a look if you haven't seen this. I really like that. But you had that. You then had Star Wars Outlaws, which was revealed here, and then the gameplay was shown in the Ubisoft show. We can talk about this now. Have you lot seen the gameplay to this?
I watched the trailer. I didn't see the gameplay.
The gameplay, I feel like...
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it, because I started really cold to the gameplay trailer, where it's like third-person, stealthy, tell your little pet thing to go push a button and then stealth around and shoot a few people. And I was like, And then the story got kind of interesting, and then there was a bit of like space battling, and I was like, this is kind of cool, but I feel like in my head it should have been more impressive than, like, my reaction should have been better than what it was, but for some reason it just didn't click with me at all, I think.
Did it look like Star Wars Assassin's Creed?
No, it looked like weird remnants of what a Beyond Good and Evil sequel should actually be like.
Oh, okay.
Which is the most tinfoil hat take I've made in a while. Because it's like kind of going around doing stealth stuff, being a bandit, getting good rep, bad rep, this, that, and the other. I don't know. You should, when you can, Will, check out the gameplay. It's quite long. It's like 10 minutes, but it would be cool to see what you think, Alex. I kind of was a bit cold on this.
What's funny is they keep saying the big tagline is like, this is the first open world Star Wars game, the first ever, and I'm like, yo, Jedi,
you just lying?
Does that not count? That was pretty open when I played it.
You know, that was
Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies. Jesus, yeah.
33 Immortals. I thought the game looked kind of okay, but I really like the premise of this. This was a game where it's almost like a roguelike. You do a run, and then as soon as I'm pretty sure it's how it works. When you die, you then join a raid of a total of 33 other players to take on a dungeon or something. I just thought it was really cool.
I was like kind of cold on it, and then they were like 33 player co-op, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, okay. It was like I was cold, and it was like, oh, also by the way, 33 players work together to defeat God, and I was like, oh, why is it so much cooler with 33 players trying to kill God?
Yeah.
Reminds me of the like Wonderful 101, right?
Oh yeah.
A ridiculous number of things just made it that much cooler.
Yeah. Payday 3 gameplay. Thought it was alright. Looked like more Payday and higher fidelity.
More Payday.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to this. This is also really cheap. This is like 35 quid. So
Payday 3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a pre-order for it on Epic.
Right, okay.
But this trailer, I was like, this is going to be great either way, but this trailer, for some reason, just didn't look great. I don't know. I feel like graphically it looked fine, but it didn't look great.
I feel like it just looked like Payday.
Exactly how I remembered Payday 2.
That's
which
what I
bet
thought,
if I go play Payday 2, it'll look terrible. Or not terrible. Look way worse than this, but I was like, that's Payday.
Why isn't this being made in like Unreal 5 with God rays everywhere? This expect that now.
This feels like what will be essentially used as a new starting point to jump into this Payday games as a service. Because these are games as a service, right?
Yeah.
And Payday 2 is what, like over 10 years old now, I think. And if it's not, it's very old at least. But yeah, I had a similar reaction of, it looks cool, but it just looks like Payday.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Persona 3 Reload, which was leaked prior, unfortunately. This would have been a banger if it wasn't leaked.
Let's go over to Sam in the Persona chopper. How's it looking, Sam?
Mate, we're getting more and more information about this as well. Because, like, in the trailer, it shows enough, but Persona 3 had, not remakes, but it had, like, other versions come out called Persona 3 FES, and what was the other one called, which had the female protag?
P3P, wasn't it? Persona 3 Portable.
Oh, yeah, Persona 3 Portable. It was on the PSP.
Yes.
And currently they're like, oh yeah, that's not in. And then, like, as more information is coming out, they're like, whoa. No one said it's not in yet. Someone picked out a line where they said, like, oh, there's no content from... this won't be the same as FES or P3P. So they were like, oh, that means we're not going to get all the extra stuff. And then, like, it's coming out that, like, features from those are actually going to be like some are going to be in the game.
It's
So we're like,
so confusing. Like mixed messaging.
It's we're able to control our party members. That was the one thing I wanted, and it's confirmed in this trailer that we do get to do that.
You witnessed me live, Matt, I think, and Sam as well. Maybe you were there, Will, trying to play Persona 3 on a PS2 emulator, and I was like, oh my god. You can't. I couldn't believe you couldn't control your own party members.
Yeah.
In the original. Baffling.
This will be a day one purchase for me.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. It looks so good. Persona 3 has always been the one that is just slightly too old. Persona 4 was fine. When I played it, that was a while ago now. Persona 4 might be weird now. I don't know.
Well, Persona 4 is a PS2 game.
It is. Yeah.
That's I would say maybe still holds up, but it was in the good era of PS2 games.
Well,
you should play the golden version. Don't play the original.
Persona 4 came out on PS2 when the PS3 was out. Did you know that?
Yeah,
I did.
Wasn't it the last?
It was one of them.
PS2 game or something?
It was one of the last. Yeah. It wasn't the last, but it was one of the last like high-profile PS2 releases because the PS3 was literally out.
Let me just say as well how weird it is that we got this and another Persona trailer on the Xbox showcase.
Yes,
it just feels so strange.
What a weird timeline. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, this looks great. It looks like everything I want from a Persona 3 remake, which is the original game, but all the quality of life, plus slick UI, all that cool stuff.
Oh,
I can't wait.
How do they make such cool menus? Whoever is doing the UI at Atlas, they just need to hire him out to other studios.
I saw a couple of people being like, "Oh, they just copy and pasted the menu from Persona 5," and I'm like,
"You're so wrong."
No, they've gone. This worked really well. Let's stylize it for this game, and I've gone. It looks so good.
It looks so good.
It looks so good.
What else we got? Avowed. This looks pretty cool. This was the Obsidian RPG they announced a while ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. In like a CG trailer. They've actually
just looked like Skyrim.
It looks like a higher saturated kind of Skyrim looking game.
Yeah.
Sea of
I think though, if people just want more Skyrim though, it looks fantastic.
Oh yeah. If you like those types of games, you're eating very well right now because you also had you got StarField coming out really soon as well. So
oh man, looking forward to that, even though it's going to be a mess.
Sea of Thieves, Monkey Island expansion.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, if you're into Sea of Thieves, into Monkey Island, I think it's almost a perfect crossover, right?
This is the closest I've come to being interested in installing Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I'm still not there.
In a really long time. It's like, I think in quite a year, it might have got me, but we'll see.
Flight Simulator 2024. I'm not going to play this, but I always love just looking at these games. They're always really nice. Just the flight sim games.
What's funny, they did a crossover with Dune, right?
Yes.
And they're using those like chopper things, and it's like
the dragonfly things.
Who's the guy who makes the decisions on like the physics of how those things fly? Like,
I thought it was so weird. This was like a minute-long trailer of just showing this one ship. Where usually I feel like this would be like a little 4-second thing tagged at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, no, they know their audience.
I kind of hope that because these games are based on realism and stuff, right? That all the planes it's not like coded in how they fly, it's just done by simulations. So they build this ship and put it in, and it just doesn't, it just fucking instantly dive bombs. It just doesn't launch.
It just wiggles.
Yeah. It just doesn't work at all. That was cool though. Hellblade 2 new trailer. I'm
looking forward to this. It wasn't a great trailer.
No, not a great trailer. Really like insane tech that they're showing off because it's almost like they talk at the start of this trailer about how they have the actress talking who plays Senua, and then they cut in game, and it's the same person, almost like to the insane level of detail. It is crazy.
The trailer was just showing off how good the models look and the animations, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Which is great if you really care about that, but if you're there for gameplay, you're like,
it's always like, all right, we get it, guys. You guys are really good.
You're really good at face tech.
Get it, yeah.
Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Such a good trailer.
It's such a bizarre trailer. So Ichiban has washed up somewhere not in Japan. And he's just
in America, right?
In America or somewhere, like some beach. This is it's called Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, but this is basically, I think, in Japan, these are still numbered Yakuza games, I think.
Mm.
So like this is basically Yakuza 8, I'm pretty sure. Yakuza 7 was amazing. I love that game. I can't wait for this.
So this is like they all follow on. This isn't like a Final Fantasy. They're all different. This does.
No, they do follow on. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also like the last Like a Dragon game was almost like a fresh start because you got a new protagonist and new characters and stuff. But if you can play it as a new start point, but if you are deep into the Yakuza games, it is a sequel to 6. So you can it does work that way. That's kind of crazy. Fallout 76, new update for Atlantic City. Great.
I really thought, have they done New Vegas? I really thought this was a New Vegas.
I thought this was New
thing.
Vegas, but I guess it's just not. I thought the same thing as we were watching it.
That's like the last like untouched bit of Fallout where everyone's like, this was really good. They can't spoil that. And I was like, surely they're going to go back to this.
That's the panic button, shoving New Vegas into 76. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was great. This is Path of the Goddess, which came out of nowhere. Do any of you remember this?
Yeah.
If I bring this up. This is...
I was mostly confused in that trailer, I gotta be honest.
So this is Capcom, right? Yeah, this is Capcom, yeah. So, new game from Capcom, which is kind of interesting because I feel like they've just done sequel. Oh no, Exoprimal's unique. I think with so many sequels coming out from Capcom recently, I always like seeing something new. As I was watching this trailer, I was trying to work out what it was, right? Because that's where half my fun comes from watching these shows. I was so sure this was some kind of Onimusha reboot or sequel. Do you remember those games?
Not really.
Where they were like ye old Capcom samurai demons, kind of Resident Evil.
Oh yes, no, I do remember these. Yeah.
I was so sure this was an Onimusha game, but no, it's a whole new thing. Looks like a weird cross between Devil May Cry and kind of Monster Hunter Risey. I guess more towards Devil May Cry.
This could go in any direction.
Literally, yeah. But I'm all for it.
That's that one shot of the dude with the giant mouth just walking like slow mo, and I was like, I don't know why that's such a cool shot, and he looks so stupid.
But yeah, this is cool. Like Capcom are on such a win streak for me personally right now.
Yeah.
Like it's just like anything they do, it's like just give it to me. I don't care.
Well, until Exoprimal comes.
Until Exoprimal.
I'm watching an anime at the moment called Hell's Paradise, and it's almost exactly this aesthetic as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I look at this, I was like, is this just a Hell's Paradise?
Yeah, my brother was talking about that anime. I haven't watched it, but he said it's pretty
decent.
Good. Yeah. That looked cool. What else you got? More Forza. Fucking love cars, me. If you're into the more Gran Turismo style, I think that's what the Motorsport series is. Isn't that the Horizon games are the like dick around
Horizon
in the open world?
Is like the open world, kind of casual racing. This is for the hardcore.
Yeah. For the actual car nerds.
Tune your tire pressure kind of racing gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online, Journey to Necrom, Resident Sleeper. Overwatch 2 Invasion. This is weird. There's been more about this since this has been announced. Have you heard about this?
Correct me if I'm wrong. We covered a news story maybe a month ago.
Not even that.
PvE was completely cancelled.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
And, yeah. And now it's not. So now it's back.
I'm hearing weird shit about like they were talking about how they were still going to do some story stuff maybe, but it's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But then this has like cutscenes and other stuff, and I'm hearing like gossip about not this is true. I used to look this up, but people saying like a lot of PvE stuff that's been scrapped is still being like reused piecemeal for like little bits like this.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. They spent a lot of time on it, so they're going to use everything that they bothered making.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jam it all in, fit it together however they can, and then sell it for as much money as they can before
that's funny because that's how this game even came to exist, right? It was their MMO, and then they used all the stuff from it to make Overwatch, and now it's like they try again.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess we're still making more Overwatch. God damn it.
And then also, to like lay onto it as well, this isn't free either. This is a £15 update that you have to buy as well. So
to even play the mode?
To play this mode, yeah, it's a paid add-on.
What are they doing?
What are they? This is fucking weird, man. I think it says the fact that it's shown with a new Heroes pack, it might be free on Game Pass. I'm not sure. But I've heard that it's a paid mini PvE expansion after everyone's mad about the news story of them cancelling PvE. What are they doing? It's so all like pick a lane. If you're going to cancel it, don't announce anything PvE for like a while. Like Christ.
Well, it's the thing they're doing, like, what was it, for like season 5?
Yes, season 5.
Something? Yeah, but there's no PvE stuff until season 6.
Yeah. So you could have just let it sit for a bit and let it calm down, but it's so weird.
To distract all the shit that's coming out about World of Warcraft at the moment.
Oh, I don't even want to dive into that. It will be ages. Persona 5 Tactica.
What? No, I don't care.
I didn't think you would.
Persona 5 Tactica. This is an XCOM. This is what if we took like the style of P5, made what looks to be a lower budget game in like a tactical setting. Certainly the smallest Atlas announcement that they showed. Looks nifty. Looks okay.
Yeah, I'm like, Persona good, XCOM good. Me happy.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't kind of done with Persona 5 now at this point. Kind of.
Oh, I'm not.
You're not. You still. Yeah, this is for you then.
I'm more than happy for them to take Persona 5 and just be like, here's the Persona 5 IP, but it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
Like Strikers, with it being the hack and slash. I'm like, that's great. I don't need a new Persona 5 like sequel. Just them being like, hey, this aesthetic is really good.
Yeah.
Here you go in a different format. I'm all about that.
I wanted that with Persona 4. I don't mean like now, but like years and years ago when I finished Persona 4, I was in that mood of like, I want these characters everywhere.
You got a fighting game
and a dancing game.
That's where we're at with this now, right? I think they're kind of equal now because you've got Persona 5 dancing, Persona 5 Strikers, Persona 5 Tactica.
Yeah, and although Persona, we did have the Persona 3 and Persona Q, which was characters from 3 and 4 doing
I forgot about that.
Etrian Odyssey style dungeon crawler.
Yeah, on 3DS.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
I love my Persona games. I can't help it.
They had StarField story trailer. They did a big direct as well. I guess we'll cover that here really quickly in the same section. Did you guys watch the StarField direct?
Yep, I did.
Yes,
I thought I was going to get bored of it, but I was pretty hooked.
I was so hooked, and I know I have to temper any and all expectations because it is literally a Bethesda RPG.
They literally said as well, this is the least buggy Bethesda game like we've ever released, and I'm just sort of like, oh, so there'll only be a couple thousand bugs.
Yeah. My reaction to that was like, you're a fucking liar. I just don't believe.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
I do not believe lies.
It's like if they're saying if they pull it off, this is going to be something like so special, isn't it?
Yes.
But I'm like, okay, but how much of this is true that you've shown, and how much of it works? Like you say it does, you know.
Those are some of the best bullshitters in the industry, and everyone falls for it every time.
Yeah. I was like,
Fallout 76, it just works.
I was like meh to StarField because I was like, no, sci-fi Bethesda, and I'm not really interested. And then I watched this, and I was like, how have they done it again? Why am I so hyped for this?
It looked like,
bastards.
Unironically, like all memes about bugs and stuff aside, like you say, if they can at least somewhat pull off what they are saying, it is looking to be insane.
Yeah.
Which luckily you haven't got to like risk it this time, right? Because it's on Game Pass day one.
It's on Game Pass. Well, but they're doing the cheeky early access. If you buy it, get in early. Thing.
By quite a jump as well, right? It's like 5 days or something early access.
Yeah, it's like a week
in a
early
single player
access.
game.
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I care.
You'll get a key for free anyway. What the fuck are you complaining?
You'll probably sit there and stream the crap out of it, and I'll be there watching every second.
Sign up. did sign up to a mailing list today to see if I could get it for free.
New email from Todd Howard at Bethesda.
If you're listening, I'll play 76. I'll buy some microtransactions in 76. Just let me in, please.
The best part about a game like this as well is I could sit there and watch your stream and probably do something completely different to how you play the game.
Yeah.
So it's not even spoilers unless you finish the game.
I can't believe it's like I was expecting. Did you Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds.
Where it's like Fallout with a space skin, basically, kind of. And I was kind of expecting that, maybe a bit more open world, because that's kind of their thing now. But like the fact that it got as granular as like hailing another ship and then docking with it and boarding it, with an interior to the ship that reflects how it looks on the outside, like it could physically exist. And I was like,
and that ship's yours now, and you keep it in your base, and you can customize that ship.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god.
And then you land on a planet and you can create habitats, and then you can go in that habitat and customize the habitat and add.
Yeah.
I'm saying habitat so much, but it's mad. It is mad. Yeah. It's so granular.
Literally, I think the only negative thing I could pick up on in this trailer or during the gameplay reveal was when he went to land on a planet, he like flew into the atmosphere, and then it was like, all right, now pick where you're going to land, and it like loading screened him in.
Yeah.
And that is the worst thing I can say about the game.
I can only assume that's some kind of like climbable tech mountain, where they're just like, we're not even on the cards. We'd love to do it, but we're not doing it. Like, it's impossible.
The key thing to mention before moving on from this is that, yes, the adoring fan is back.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
I don't know how they do it.
He's a trait. He's a trait. He'll appear randomly and be your best bud, and I love it.
And they even reference that video where he's like, get my sword, and then he runs off a cliff or something. They even reference. I was like, oh my god.
They know what they're doing, it seems.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Game looks fantastic.
I think if this game loses any marks, it's looking to be probably from bugs, because everything else seems to be pretty decent.
Surely it can't. It's not. They can't have fixed everything, right? They can't. They just can't.
Oh,
I don't believe
this game will be a hot, buggy mess. But as with all Bethesda games, if you're having fun while it's being a hot, buggy mess, it adds to it rather than takes away.
I was talking about this the other day. Everybody's like really down on Bethesda, and I think it feels like Fallout 76 has done like irreparable damage to Bethesda's reputation, to the point where everybody's going back and being like, actually Fallout 4 was bad, actually Skyrim was bad, and it's like, no, these are great RPGs. Like
the issue was, I feel, is that people were always okay with the bugs in Bethesda games because the games were still somewhat fun, and Fallout 76 just straight up crossed the line that they had been dancing around for literal years. And then once you cross that line, like you say, it starts. You start looking like, was this always okay? Hang on a minute. Like, what have we been putting up with?
We've just been very tolerant for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking very cool. You then had, I don't even know how you pronounce this, Jusant. It was like a climbing game. Looked kind of cool.
This looked really weird because I kept watching it and I was like, okay, yeah, they're climbing. Right now, they're still climbing. Now they're climbing something else. Now they're climbing somewhere else. And I was like, so it's just exploration and climbing. And I was like, is that a video game?
But it was always
like, I guess it is.
It was also like I was watching it and I was like, okay, like the climbing in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is actually kind of cool, right? Where you can climb anything and do this. But this looks like the somewhat kind of linear climbing from games like, I don't know, like Uncharted and Tomb Raider. And I'm like, was that ever the most fun parts of those games?
I think if you could find a good way to gamify climbing, I think it's doable. I think that it looked pretty cool.
This is a great Game Pass
game. Right, I thought this is going to be like a journey game.
Yes,
where you're going to sit there, you're going to vibe, just gonna have like a nice calm time.
Cool 2 to 3 hour experience, and then you drop it, and that's it.
Then what do we have? Still Wakes the Deep. That was another like horror game out to sea, not undersea. Like the other one.
I don't like that horror game developers are latching on to how scary the ocean is.
You need it's out there, Will. It's not moving.
As someone with thalassophobia, not a fan.
The sea isn't. If anything, the sea is getting closer because the levels are rising.
Oh god!
Don't
I got Sam with that one. Dungeons of Hinterberg. This was the Banner Saga people, right?
Mm.
No.
Oh yes.
No, it's not. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Oh my god, they all look the same. Okay. I'm gonna move on. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. This is the expansion for Cyberpunk. Focusing on
Still never finished this game.
Idris Elba instead of Keanu Reeves. Cool stuff.
No, as well as Keanu Reeves.
I've heard there's been some like early previews and news stories and stuff that this is like they've completely reworked everything and now the game isn't jank anymore.
Well, I believe him.
But yes, I would maybe wait until release and reviews for it. Looks ambitious though.
It does, yeah. City Skylines 2. This was a really cool.
Exactly the same as City Skylines 1. I think they literally have the exact same UI.
Good.
Yeah, I don't even play these games, but I feel like that's exactly what those players want out of these games.
They showed so many roundabouts.
Here we go. Right. Metaphor Refantasio.
From the creators of Persona.
This is a new RPG from Atlas, looking exactly like a different direction of the similar kind of anime art style they've built up over the years. It's kind of fantasy-ish, medieval-ish. It's really odd. It looks amazing. I love it. It certainly aesthetically looks more like SMT than a Persona game. But this is so exciting to have another new mainline series.
I'm in. I'm so in.
Because you've got, essentially, if this does well, right, you'll have Persona running alongside Shin Megami Tensei, running alongside Metaphor. And this looks like they're really quick cuts in this, but there's kind of like fantasy stuff. There's like what look like elves with longer ears. There's a bond system, people shaking hands and bonds are increasing and stuff like that.
Some sort of rabbit with a samurai sword.
I like the part where he kick flipped off a spaceship.
Yeah. I am so excited for this, mainly because I'll just eat up anything. From Atlas like this.
It feels like they've got.
Did they say this was on PC?
I can't remember. It's definitely
the Xbox show, so I'm like,
it's got to be
on.
I think they said everything here was PC and Xbox.
Yeah,
Game
and Game Pass. Yeah.
Windows.
There you go. Windows.
Oh no! Does that mean Windows Store?
No Game Pass logo on that one though, right? Play it on Xbox.
Ooh. Yeah, but they weren't.
Okay,
I guess I don't know.
Let's wait for confirmation about that.
Nothing here directly, but either way, the game looks amazing. I cannot wait for this. What was your reaction, Sam? I guess you're in love with this, right?
Yeah, it's like they've got their art style down. They've got their. I mean, I don't know if the gameplay loop will be exactly the same. I hope it is a little bit different.
They need to do something different because otherwise, why make it? Kind of, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it already kind of looks like there he had like 6 or 8 skills, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. Normally, you only really get like 4.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like it's gonna. I'm hoping maybe they'll take an open world route. Maybe it doesn't have to be this game.
Yeah.
But they did show him like walking down the streets, but like it was the streets in a combat setting rather than it's the daytime cycle where I'm at school. It didn't have that vibe to it,
That's a good point. I didn't even cross my mind about doing some kind of open world combat kind of thing.
Afternoon Wednesday the 17th, so there's the calendar system.
Yeah, calendar system inside what is looking like kind of combat.
Okay, but show the kickflip. No, I'm kidding.
It's in there somewhere. I don't know where it is.
It's in there somewhere.
It could just be a carbon copy of Persona. I will still play it. I know a lot of people, a lot of Persona fans would still play it. But hopefully it's going to have that little bit of something else, to make it not just a cut and paste.
Yeah.
Interestingly as well, when they hover over the main character in this, like the weird knight-looking monster thing comes out. So I'm like, is that like his persona? Is he going to have like... does he transform into it like... was it Digital Devil Saga? Be interesting to see what they do with this.
But yeah, that looks really good. I can't wait for that. That looks really good. Towerborn. This is finally
Banner
the Banner Saga.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is. Yeah, 100%. Don't do this to me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Clockwork Revolution.
This looks really good.
This is like the totally
I
not
actually missed this one.
not
Yeah, this
Bioshock
is what I
Infinite.
wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Thingy to be Atomic Heart.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like first person. It is not loading for some reason. First person.
This looks like a no new Dishonored. It's like fine, I'll do it myself. Kind of kind of game. It looked cool as hell. Yeah.
Look that up. That's Clockwork Revolution. That was one of the stingers. I think this is towards the end of the show. It was. Yeah, then it was the announcement of a new Series S console in carbon black.
Carbon black.
And the StarField Direct. Really good show out of Xbox this year. Like some really good. Fable looked really cool. Metaphor
just stuck
looks
a
great.
shit ton of really good RPGs on it.
They really did. Yeah, it's such a. It's the RPG show. I feel like this year. Starfield, a shit ton of Atlas games. Avowed, looking really good. Like a Dragon announcement, another RPG.
Yeah.
There's so many RPGs now that I think about it.
Even on the previous one, the Summer Game Fest, there was 3 different Final Fantasy stuff.
But yeah, how would you rate it out of 10? I'd give this a solid 8 or 9, I think, comparatively to the others that were shown.
I think it's an easy 9.
Easy 9.
I think, again, I think the show was a little bit worse than the Summer Games Fest show, but I was much more obviously excited about the games.
Yeah.
So this is like a 9 for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there are 2 other conferences. I'm going to race through these really quickly. We won't stop on them. I'm just going to list stuff that was shown because they're lots shorter than the ones, but just to cover them really quickly. Capcom event didn't show much. New commentator for Street Fighter 6, always good. Capcom Town, a website that you can go to. Literally just Google Capcom Town to celebrate all Capcom stuff, and you can play some Mega Man games and stuff online. Actually, really cool. It's a very cute website. If you haven't been to it, you should have a look. That's really really cool. Exoprimal trailer. Another game that's also coming to Game Pass very soon. Some more
Still time, Capcom. You can still cancel it.
It's not getting cancelled.
Prove me right.
What I say, I buy you a pizza if that gets cancelled.
I think one of us owes each other dinner or something. Yeah.
Each of these segments as well during the Capcom showcase were so long because they didn't have. I think it was an hour long or something. But they had 5 things to show.
They really pad these ones because when they announced the Capcom showcase, I was like, realistically, what can they talk about? Because anything massive will be in the PlayStation show or the Xbox show.
Yeah.
I was expecting a trailer for a Street Fighter 6 Battle Pass or something. I didn't even get that.
I was like, they're having their own show to announce Monster Hunter World 2 because this is where they do it. But no, nothing.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which comes out in a couple of weeks. Please play this. It's amazing. It is still shocking to me this is even coming out in the first place. But I love Ghost Trick. I played it back on, I think, the original DS. Brilliant game. Monster Hunter Sunbreak gets its final update coming soon. Then that game's officially done. Trailer for
World 2.
I wish. Resident Evil Death Island, which is a great name still. Got a new trailer.
Resident Evil Netflix show?
That's not the Netflix one. No,
CG movie.
It's a new CG movie.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where Leon interacts with Jill for
I'm
the first
already
time.
I'm already out. I don't care.
Time ever.
I've got all the time in the world for Resident Evil
Please
movies.
stop.
Resident Evil 4 gets a new demo. Cool. The original demo was timed, so I think this is just.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so odd. But anyway, that's it. Nothing crazy. I love Capcom, but all their stuff's kind of out now, I guess.
Yeah.
And then finally, Ubisoft trailer, a Ubisoft conference, I should say. They showed Avatar.
That's the most boring one. In my opinion.
Frontiers of Pandora. I watched this out of curiosity. I missed the actual show live, but I watched these trailers. I don't really. I'm not massively into Avatar, so these don't appeal to me at all. But they look like Far Cry reskins. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, I find it's so weird. It's like they're capitalized. What was it? You said strike while the iron's hot on Avatar. It's like.
But Avatar 2 still did really well in cinema, right?
I guess.
Someone's watching Avatar.
I just feel like it's not.
Now.
I feel like it's not the cultural thing that it was when it launched. You know what I mean? Like everybody went to see it, sort of out of a weary sense of obligation because there was fuck
the
all else
first
to
one
do.
was like one of the most, highest grossing movies of all time, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
You're sort of like, well, I'll go watch the next one.
So yeah, Avatar game coming out 7th of December. It looks very mid. Check out the trailers if you want to. The weird thing about Ubisoft trailers, especially in their own shows, is they're really long. They really pad them. And it's like, oh cool, Avatar trailer and overview, and it's like 10 minutes long. I'm like, oh god. X Defiant community reactions recap. More on that Prince of Persia game. Looks alright. Captain Laserhawk: A Blood Dragon remix show coming to Netflix. I didn't watch this trailer. Did anyone watch this live?
No.
I kind of was drifting off.
Yeah,
I missed the Ubisoft one.
What time did these air? This show? Is it because I didn't watch it live? Is it like stupidly late or something?
I don't think it was that late. It was like the stuff they'd shown up to this point wasn't very interesting, and it didn't look like they were going to have anything interesting to show. So I was kind of tuning out.
Okay, we'll get through this. Division Resurgence, another CG trailer for The Division, which is a mobile game. Fantastic.
This was hilarious. The Skull and Bones. They had guys singing along with this. This was so good.
Skull and Bones is still alive. Did you hear about the beta for this? The closed beta. So this trailer announces a closed beta between the 25th and 28th of August. They then went out on Twitter, I think today, and had to announce that even though you could sign up for consoles on this beta, the beta is not for console and was never intending to be. So now they've pissed off a whole bunch of people that, the last remaining handful of people that actually want to play Skull and Bones, being telling them like, no, we fucked up. You're not actually playing it, sorry. And everyone's just like super pissed off. It's big, yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's another one of those games that's just like, oh god, just ship it and let it die. It's dragging a bit now.
Yeah,
they're still putting so much into it. I can't imagine it being good when it comes out, but if it is, maybe we'll all be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Roller Champions gets a Jet Set Radio theme. I forgot.
Hell yeah!
I forgot that game was even out. Roller Champions, but there's that. Riders Republic, Skate add-on. Brawlhalla gets Master Chief, which is kind of
what?
Yeah. Brawlhalla's Master Chief and Elite.
This weird Smash clone has now got Master.
Oh, that game. Oh, yeah.
The Crew Motorfest, another racing game. I didn't look into this at all.
Really love cars.
Fuck, I fucking love cars. Assassin's Creed Nexus on VR, which is VR stuff for Assassin's Creed on Meta headsets.
I don't even know how that works. You just dive off a building head first.
Yeah, can I dive off and give myself like a panic attack, like a heart attack in my living room?
That's
jumping off.
You have to. That's the tutorial. Assassin's Creed Jade got a trailer. This is another mobile game for Assassin's Creed, and then after that, it was the one that Sam said, you're more interested in, which is Mirage.
Yeah.
More
the
gameplay.
Actual Assassin's Creed game.
Yes, the next big one that's actually coming out. This one is focusing more on stealth and kind of how the original ones were, as opposed to these current RPG ones like Valhalla and Odyssey. It looks cool. I'm actually kind of excited for this. I think this will be.
Yeah, I really hope this is good.
I think it'll be decent at least. It's no. We said before, it's no coincidence they're making him basically look like Altair and Ezio from the originals. Like they're trying to get us back.
Yeah.
And the final stinger was the 10-minute walkthrough for Outlaws, which, as I said, didn't do much for me, really, if I'm being honest. But
I bet that game will actually probably be great, but
I think it'll be okay.
Who's making it?
It's all Ubisoft.
Yeah, but like Ubisoft has studios, right?
Let's have a look, see if I can find something for this quickly here, just on the YouTube page. Just says Ubisoft.
Ubisoft in-house. Okay. Oh no, it's Massive Entertainment. That's the Division. That's the Division guys.
The Division people are making this.
Yeah.
But there's two other Division games coming out. One of them was announced in this showcase.
This is secretly a Division game.
They are called Massive Entertainment. Maybe that's just.
We have massive amounts of people to make massive
very literal,
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said. This looks okay. It does the infuriating thing where the person doing the shooting is very, very bad.
Clearly playing on a
Which is
controller.
always fun. Even on controller, it's like I think it's one where she shoots this block like 4 times. Yeah, no, yeah, it's that. I think this is worth watching at least because I think it's interesting.
Nice. Star Wars, even after all this time, still kind of elicits like a little out of me.
You should watch this.
Whenever I see it, yeah. I need to go check this out after this. Yeah.
But that's everything. That's all 4 main conferences. Sorry if we rushed through the last 2 a little bit quick, but there wasn't much there anyway. Really.
It's okay. I've got a bumper episode today.
And now we cover the PC gaming show.
Oh god,
Wait! I didn't even tune into that this year.
I did purely for Stormgate, and then I went to bed.
Oh, Stormgate's looking good though. It looks
Stormgate?
Looks like a mobile game, but there
It is a little bit on the cartoony side at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
But,
hate that though.
That will change.
Yeah,
that will change graphically. I feel like before the game comes out.
This is the ex-Blizzard people making another
Yeah.
RTS in the vein of StarCraft 2 or StarCraft.
Yeah,
Brood
the
War
people
or
that made
whatever.
Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2.
Yeah,
Frost Giant.
Yeah. Got it here.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. And also, it was really nice, obviously, the PC gaming show being hosted by Day 9,
Yeah.
Yeah,
who is,
yeah.
know, if you need someone to judge an RTS game, that's not a bad one to do it.
I hear he used to play a lot of RTS games back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so look forward to it.
I think he played a lot of Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah, that's
I
go for it.
wanted to say I thought this was kind of a weak year for shows, even though it felt like there's so many good things to show off. But it really like made me miss E3 this year.
It's a weird
say.
year because
TLO.
Sony was not absent, but they were a few weeks back,
Yeah,
and Nintendo is absent from any kind of
Yeah.
direct. So it does, even though this is like the not E3 year, there are some other people kind of missing. So
yeah.
But I know I was on holiday obviously whilst all this was happening, and I didn't watch these live, and I didn't feel like I missed a whole bunch by not watching them live.
Yeah. This is the
Um,
first one where I was like, I watched one of the shows, and then I was like, I'm just gonna watch the trailers after on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
The ones I'm interested
You
in.
got to fill in your bingo cards live.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
How'd you do? Anyone get a bingo?
I didn't get a bingo.
Oh,
I
not close.
think everyone just copied yours this year, Matt, because you're the only one that made one, so everyone just took yours.
I mean, who doesn't love it?
But yeah, that's all that
Great
stuff.
bingo
There
card.
are Steve, because Steve's not here this week. I've done a few upcoming games. There's not many. There's just a few coming out really quickly that I'll do. You've got. Do you remember a game called Park Beyond? It was like the park builder game, but some of the rides were weird. Like they would.
Oh, it was like the theme hospital version of, Parkitect or whatever.
Yeah,
where
it was just like here are some rides that cannot exist in real life because it's a game. So they get really weird with it. That's coming out. That could be cool. You've also got the Layers of Fear remake. I think this is like a remake of 1 and 2, or it's like a weird new story. But these are very popular horror games, and this comes out I think in a couple of days. So you had that, and then lastly you had the Crash Team Rumble game I was talking about. That comes out on the 20th, and it's £35.
I'm hoping this is like Crash Bash, to be honest.
It's not. It's like a weird, like team based.
It's like a MOBA.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really
Right.
weird.
Oh, they made a MOBA? Oh no.
It's not. It's not a MOBA
It's
specifically.
not. It's not a League of Legends, right? There's not like lanes and minions, but it is a like 4v4 in like a arena battle.
Yeah, you have to like
Right,
dunk.
okay.
You have to pick up apples and like dunk them, and the more points you get, the more.
Oh,
I just don't know how it's. I just don't know how it's £35.
Why? Yeah, this should be
Yeah,
free.
but
with
35 quid is
microtransactions.
half the price of a standard game.
Yeah,
Yeah, but multiplayer only.
multiplayer only, obscure Crash Bandicoot 4v4 multiplayer game.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just
It's like they're like, how many skins can we put on Crash Bandicoot? And they're like, I've got like 4 ideas. No, like, we can't make a business model out of that.
But yeah, that's everything that's coming out. We'll wrap this up. We've gone a little bit longer, but we had a lot to talk about, I guess. So thank you guys for hanging around for a little bit longer than usual. Should we do our social stuff and get out of here? I think we should.
Yes.
No.
No, okay. Sam's gonna stay here on his own, and he's gonna chill out. He's gonna entertain everyone here. No, my name is BottlerWorks on everything. You can find me. Actually, I'm being so rude. Matt, you have a YouTube channel, and you're our special guest here today. What do you do, and where can we find you?
I make Yu-Gi-Oh content with Sam sometimes on Tomatosaurs on YouTube. I have other things, but I don't use them, so it's just YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put it all below as well, so people can find you. But you do really good stuff. I like your YouTube stuff. I still put on, even I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I still put them on and listen to them in the background when I'm just doing bits and bobs around.
I appreciate that. Every view helps.
And then what about you, Will?
Hello, my name is Oliver Meister. I also make Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. We're actually competing right now. No, you know where to find me.
You can come on the channel anytime you want, Will.
Yeah. You want to teach me to play Yu-Gi-Oh, Matt? I'm down.
Yeah, we'll play Rush Duel.
Oh, I would watch that series of Will being a knob, being trying to learn Yu-Gi-Oh. And Sam, where can we find your Yu-Gi-Oh channel?
I'm Sam.
All right,
you can find Sam over on my YouTube channel.
You can.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.